Welcome to the dumbest guy in the room. My name is Bill McDowell, your host, and today we have a longtime, I would say, cousin.
Yeah.
We've known each other probably forever. We haven't really been close, but our parents, our moms, have been extremely close.
Yeah.
I think their almost entire life.
Right.
So I brought you on today. I'm really excited to have this conversation. You're kind of doing the same thing as me. He's got the JoNick Fight podcast. You guys should
Yes, sir.
check it out. You're also a sales manager at Sussman, so you sell cars.
Yep.
So you're a skeezy salesman too.
Yeah.
Everybody looks at car salesman as like this salesman type, but every salesman I think is the same salesman.
Same person, dude.
I don't understand
It's
why
all-
everything is different. There's no different than the guy in the clothing store than
Right.
you do.
Yeah, and honestly, dude, it really is like all the same because I always tell new people when they start, like from the moment, like I'm not good at selling things, right? I get people to like me and they trust me. That's it. You know what I mean?
That's it,
But
dude.
they're all the same. Like you're right. If you go to like Mattress Firm or like Mealy's or something like that,
It doesn't
they're all,
matter. I really think that we're all salesmen.
Yep.
We all every person needs to be a salesman in some type of way.
Yep.
Because we all want what we want, right?
Right.
And in order to get that, we have to sell something to somebody.
Job
whether it's
interviews,
something-
dude.
Everything.
Everything.
So tell me, how did you get to where you're at today, and who was your biggest influence to help you get there?
So, God, man. So I forget what it was, but about 9 years ago, I think I went up to Faulkner Hyundai on the Boulevard, and well, let me start from the beginning. I went to Ryan, graduated 11, went to Manor, played soccer for 2 years. Just played soccer. I didn't really do my whole studying thing. So
Is that where you did your knee?
no, so
Anybody ever seen that, dude?
that was actually my junior year of high school going into my senior year.
I don't know how you kept playing, bro.
I know.
That's disgusting.
That was brutal. We'll get into that though. So then I went to Manor, and I forget how old I was at the time. I was maybe 20, 21 years old. I went to Faulkner and leased my first car. And I didn't really know what I was doing in my life, you know what I mean? I didn't know what I wanted to do. I could, take the police route, do that thing, or go back to school, try to actually focus on school rather than soccer, which I, cared about more. So I went in there, leased my first car, and I asked my salesperson, I was like, you guys hiring by chance? Let me go ask. So I ended up being a lot attendant up there. So that job in a nutshell is just like clean cars, make sure the lot's good, do that whole thing. 2 months into it, I get promoted to do the absolute worst job in the world. It's a warranty administrator, and me, I have ADHD, so
I'm with you, dude.
focusing is a task, to say the least. And I had to sit at a computer, do all these things for service with these cars, and they were like, Nick, you absolutely suck at your job. And I was like, yeah, I know, I hate it. And they were like,
honest.
yeah, right. And then they say, you know what, let's try you in sales. Sweet deal. Went up to sales, absolutely crushed it, killed it. It was awesome. I loved it. You really don't have time for like anything else. You're always at work. But I'm so used to it now. Then I moved on to a couple other dealerships. I thought I wanted to get out of the business. Did Safe Light for 6-7 months. That was the worst job in the world. I had a lot of bad jobs. And then I went to Sussman, was a salesperson for about a month or two. Got promoted by the best boss in the world. I can honestly say that. Meg Griffiths. I know she'll watch it. She's the best. Been with that. I know. I'm trying to get that raise, Meg. And then I've been sales manager out there for about 2 years.
Okay.
And as far as influences, man, I would honestly just have to say, obviously, my parents, they divorced very young, or when I was very young, but they both just did what they were supposed to do, just do their job.
And they stayed together for you guys, like kept the relationship for the kids.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so
That's important.
Right. I remember being so young, and I still, to this day, 28 years old, remember just screaming at each other and all this stuff. And now if you were to look at them in the same room, dude, it's like
Completely different.
completely different.
Yeah.
And then my brothers, man. My brothers, me and Tommy, for sure, have always had a really good relationship. Me and Kenny, we just had different lives. Well, all three of us, to be honest, really did. But as we grew older, we have a really good relationship now.
Yeah.
And they just keep it. They're honest. They keep everything, as they say, 100 with it. And just that's it.
Kenny definitely does.
Kenny does, yeah.
Kenny definitely
Still
does.
Still a bitch, though, Ken.
I would like to see that one, dude.
Right.
Used to go at it.
Oh, my God, dude. Yeah.
Who would win?
Me or Kenny?
Yeah, who would win?
Well, back in the day, probably him, for sure.
But today?
Today, I worked that dude.
You think so?
Oh, I beat the shit out of him.
I don't think he's going to like that.
He's not going to like that.
Dude, I actually seen him. He's at my dad's funeral, but I was in line at a gun store when I lived in Lansdale.
Mm-hmm.
And someone was staring at me this whole time. This is the time you had to wear masks, right? So we had masks on. I don't wear them anymore, by the way. But at that point, I had it on. Everyone in line had it on, dude. And the line was so long, you had to wait forever to get in. And there was this dude just staring at me in the front of the line. I'm like, why does this dude keep staring at me? And he checks out and he comes by. He's like, I got 1,000 rounds, dude. I'm like, oh, shit. This is your brother, bro. So you got 1,000 rounds, dude. If they come this way, dude, come to my house. I'll be on the roof. I'm like, dude, you're nuts.
He's dead nuts, dude.
Yeah, and he just walked out.
Absolutely
just
dead
like
nuts.
that. I just got 1,000 rounds.
I got 1,000 rounds. And yeah, that's him to a T right now.
Yeah. Dude, I used to think Kenny was the craziest dude ever when I was young. I remember my mom told me a story that he stole your mom's car.
Multiple times.
Yeah. And I thought it was like the craziest thing in the world to do something like that until I got older and started doing the same shit.
Right.
And realized it wasn't really that out of the normal. But I remember him doing that, dude. I was like, yeah, dude, he's a nut job.
Yeah. He, dude, I pretty much had almost like the perfect like role models or something. I don't even know how to say it, but I knew growing up two things: what not to do.
What not to do.
What not to do.
Or how to do it the right way.
Right.
Without getting in
Exactly.
trouble.
So Kenny did his thing. Tommy did his thing. I'm not going to put like personal stuff out there, but I was like, all right, so definitely don't do that. And all right, definitely don't do that.
And that's good though, man, because I feel like a lot of people, including myself, never look at it that way. Mm-hmm. I have to do it. I have to fail. Everything I've done, dude, I've done it, destroyed my life, and had to rebuild. Because even though I knew somebody that did it, I'm like, I can do that.
Right.
I can get away with that. I can't look at other people's like failures or shouldn't say failures, but their flaws or character flaws, which I think we all have,
right,
and learn from their character flaw. I have to learn it myself, dude. I love learning the hard way.
Right.
And it blows. It's good, but it sucks in the moment. You know what I mean? But getting back to sales, dude. So I was in banking forever. Kind of the same way you fell into cars. I fell into a call center in the banking industry. And I don't know, man. Over the time, dude, I was so good at it. I was always good. I got all the way promoted to licensed branch manager. And morally, I just couldn't do what they wanted me to do anymore. Right. And that's why I left and started my own business. Because just like you said, you sell by them getting to know you, them liking you, and then that's what you're selling is you.
Right.
Because that's what we are, right? We're selling ourselves.
Right. Exactly.
And I think if people would focus more on your needs, right? Like just literally focusing on what you need and then providing the solution for that instead of trying to manipulate people into telling them what they need, sales would be a whole different culture.
Yep.
But
that's
why no one wants to do that.
Yeah, I mean that's why. I mean during this whole shutdown, starting from last year, I can't believe it's been a year, and I don't know. But anyway,
how's it been in the business with the pandemic, bro?
So so during the very beginning, I was the guy who said, "Dude, this shit's gonna be done in 2 weeks, bro. It's gonna be over with. They're trying to distract us from something else that's going on. Here we are a year later. Anyway, so we shut down. We lay off everybody." The whole company shuts down. 6 stores, 5 stores, whatever it is. Everything shut down. I get a phone call, and I had a laptop, bring it home. I'm still like talking to customers, you know what I mean, here and there on the internet, things like that, just informing them what's going on. Then about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks later, I got a phone call from Meg. She says, "Hey, we're going back." I said, "All right, cool." She goes, "But it's just going to be me and you."
So you guys shut down for how long?
About a week and a half.
A week and a half.
Well, just entirety until they came back, until like all my salespeople came back and service and everything like that. It was probably like 2 months.
2 months. So you and Megan, which is I guess your boss.
Yeah.
You two ran the store by yourselves for
So
months?
what we did was nobody was allowed in. So we just literally did everything on the internet, and that's what everything is now, anyways. Internet, and sold some cars, but it wasn't anything like crazy. And then when everything came back, we absolutely crushed it. Like you worked in banking, interest rates all time low.
Yep.
All this stuff, man, 0%, 84 month, all this stuff, man. It really helped, and we were breaking records, dude. We were selling all these cars, dude, and it wasn't just us; it was everywhere. Like, dude, the car industry just like boomed kind of, and it slowed down a little bit because people were scared still, And even now, we had a great March, and then April is a little slower, but I think as far as like the economy is, I think it's actually, with the interest rates and everything like that, dude, we really didn't suffer all that badly, to be honest. Like, if you told me, oh, don't worry, you'll sell more cars than you did last year without a pandemic, I would have never believed you.
Right.
And we had 2 months off where we didn't sell anything. Well, barely anything, So that just shows you how, this kind of like positively almost affected,
what about
my industry.
What about it positively affected I think it positively affected most industries, but as an economy at whole, do you think that influx of car because mostly I'm assuming are loans,
right?
Mm-hmm. They're not coming in with a bunch of cash and paying for these cars,
right? You get your few and far between, but yeah,
most of the time it's loans, right?
Yep.
And it's because interest rates are so low, it's kind of a no-brainer,
right?
But do you think that do you guys? I don't know if you're familiar with like the subsidized auto loans. Like, do you have any idea about the loan side of the deal, or do you just kind of run it and?
I kind of like so my job really is just to make sure the salespeople are doing their jobs, do everything Meg says, and when somebody's ready to buy a car, I show numbers, things like that, like agree to a deal, whatever, and then finance takes over. I kind of have the finance end of it a little bit.
Okay.
So like I know what like police and fire offers. I know what American Heritage offers. I know what like I know all about that stuff. I don't know like all in depth like you probably do, obviously.
I really, since I was in the banking industry, I did kind of loans. Like I did the loan for people, and they go out and buy the car, right? And we didn't do subprime auto lending.
Okay. Yep.
Right, my bank does not do that. That's usually something that they have a deal with the dealerships that do that subprime lending. And the thing that I always had an issue with the subprime lending, everybody needs a car.
What bank were you at again?
So the last one I just left was Fulton Bank.
Okay.
Prior to that, it was Key Bank.
Yeah.
And that's where Key Bank's where I got into more of the investment side rather than the lending side. And prior to that was TrueMark Financial, which I did a lot more. That's where my auto loans really.
Right. Yeah.
Credit unions typically have way better rates for auto loans than banks do.
Right.
Reason behind it, I'm assuming, is just because there's collateral, and credit unions are typically not as risky. Don't take as big of risks as banks do.
Yes.
Because they're smaller. But the subprime loans in a pandemic are what's kind of scary for the economy. If you think about it, right? Because there's people that are out of work, which honestly isn't that many more people pre-pandemic. They just switched the numbers around.
Right. Yeah.
They do, man.
In
2018, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but like in 2018, it was like 17% of Americans couldn't pay their bills monthly. They couldn't afford it. So they say 17%, which doesn't sound like that big of a percent.
Right.
But when they're talking about millions, it sounds higher. So now they'll say 62 million people can't afford it. Not realizing that 62 million is right around that 17% area. All they do is switch the numbers to make something sound greater or worse. So if they want something to sound good and the percentage is lower than the number, they'll use the percentage rather than the actual total of people, which is insane to me. But and no one really cares about that, right? But the subprime thing is like these people have bad credit for a reason. One, I think it's a thing to hold people down. They don't teach them about money, right? If you don't know how to use money as a tool rather than a goal, you're screwed for life, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree. Because I remember even like in high school, we were taking all these classes for what? You know what I mean?
What do you use them for?
Like we my mom, both of our parents spent this amount of money to send us to school, and for what? We didn't learn anything. I shouldn't say we didn't learn anything. We learned stuff, useless information. I didn't know how to do taxes. I didn't know what like a 401k was. Right. I didn't know any of this shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even like my college classes that I took, they didn't teach me any of this. You know what I mean?
I don't think college is even meant for that, dude.
Right.
I never went to college.
Right.
I don't regret it either.
Yeah.
I used to. Just like you said in the beginning where you're like, I didn't know what the hell I wanted, where I wanted to go. I don't think anybody really does.
Right.
Right? So, especially coming out of high school, it's like, I'm going to go to college. What the hell are you going for?
Right.
I'm going for sports management. I'm going for communication. What do you want to do for a living? I like sports.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I hope you do, dude. Like, it kind of takes your mind away from things, but what are you going to get a job in?
Right.
Now you have all this debt that you didn't even know you had when you come out. You're like, I have that much debt?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have that much debt. You don't remember the loans you signed away?
Yeah.
No, I just went to the office and they made me sign these paperwork and now I'm in school.
They don't explain anything.
They don't explain anything.
No.
They don't explain that you have to pay this back. They really don't explain that stuff to people, and it's dangerous. But let me ask you this. So while we're on education, what do you see, because you have some college, right? What do you think one of the biggest problems in education is today? With what's going on in this world, dude, which is an insane world that honestly, I look at my kids and I'm like, shit. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Bringing you into this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, buddy. Yeah. I just tell them every day, I'm sorry, dude. I don't know why I brought you here because it's not a...
It's going to suck. It's going to be worse.
You know, it's just getting harder. Life is getting harder, and I think it has a lot to do with the education system. And I was like, in your opinion, what do you think is wrong in the education?
So I think, as far as the education system is concerned, I think all they want long-term, all they care about, I should say, is long-term, is money, right? Because I don't know what the money goes towards, what, like, field upgrades, or, you know, why are they not putting back, or, like, I just think if you want to be a teacher, great. I don't know if they should make you decide, like, hey, what kind of teacher do you want to be? Do you want to teach history? Then why are you making that history teacher have to take statistics? Or why are you making that history teacher have to take introduction to microbiology, right? I think if they did a 4-year or 6-year program, or even get your doctorate in history, I'm just using history as an example, then why not take 8 straight years of just history? Just learn everything about history, right? I want to be a history teacher. Okay, so you don't have to take any other courses. You're just going to focus on history for your next 8 years here, and you're going to be a doctor of history.
Right.
Right?
That would make sense.
You know what I mean?
So you do history, and then you do, like, the communication, like how to talk to people.
I think there's wasted money coming from
100%, dude.
Wasted money coming from, like, students.
Well, it's not wasted. Yeah, it's wasted on the students' part.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's wasted from the students.
It's not wasted on who's getting it.
No, absolutely not.
That's the point.
Right. But students are wasting their money taking these unnecessary courses to get a degree in what they want to get a degree in.
Right.
If you talk to any nurse, even my wife, she's an occupational therapist, she had to take history classes, she had to take math courses, and she had to take all this stuff. And listen, I get it, nurses have to, like, be able to, 10 milligram. Listen, if you talk to a nurse, it's not fucking hard to pour medicine or something like that. You know what I mean? They'll tell you, right? So
I have to do it for my kids. It says 2 milliliters.
Right, you got it. You have nothing, dude. You can do it. So I think
being a nurse is definitely difficult. No.
Right, absolutely it is.
But pouring medicine's not.
Right, exactly. Because if it says it on there, and then the cup says it on there, you're easy, right?
You're good.
So, but no, I listen, and especially with what they're going through right now too, they're the greatest people on earth in the medical field. I love them. I love them people. But again, if you want to go to school to be a nurse, be anything, you should focus on that. That should be the only focus. that student shouldn't have to take prerequisites for what?
Right.
If you want to get into nursing school, I don't know why you have to take, like, some people say, oh, I didn't get accepted into nursing school. Why aren't they accepting people? They're going to pay the same amount of money as the person who got accepted. Take their money. If they fail out, they fail out. Guess what? The school still gets their money.
Right.
Because guess what? Some people aren't good at school. But I know a lot of people who probably be really good fucking nurses. They just don't want to go to school.
Right. It's
or
true.
like anything.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
It's very true.
That's my thoughts on that.
For me, I think you answered it with the very beginning of that was why. Right? Mm-hmm. Why are they taking it? Why isn't the education system telling us why we're learning what we're learning?
Right.
They're just telling you what to know.
Mm-hmm.
And then testing you on, do you know everything that I just told you?
Yes.
Right? So it's like, here's a test. Here's what I told you to know. Here's the test. What percentage of you do you know what I told you? And that's it. It's
right.
not like, why did I teach you? Why am I learning this? Right? Like, right. I think that's a big thing. That's like they're not teaching you how to think at all. It's just, here's what you need to know. Now tell me, do you know it?
Right.
Not anything outside the box. And to me, I think the why is huge, and it's not being applied anywhere. And that's where a lot of this thinking in this world is coming from.
Yep.
And that's why we're at a point of literally two groups of people that hate each other right now.
Yep.
And it's a shame.
Yeah.
It really is.
Absolutely is.
Because I know your brother's a big Trump guy.
Mm-hmm.
What I see from your posts are more kind of in the middle.
Yes.
Which is where I'm at. People think I'm a Trump supporter every time.
Well, your beard says Trump all day, dude.
It does. And when I don't wear a mask, and they're like, "Oh, you must be a Trump supporter."
Yeah.
Well, I'm more libertarian.
Yeah.
Right. I want you to have your choice, but I want me to have my choice.
Mm-hmm.
In order to do that, I have to let you have your choice.
Absolutely.
Right. But no one understands why that's a thing.
Right.
And today it's like, well, this group wants this, so this is what we need to do, or this group wants this, so this is what we need to do. And it's like, well, if you let these people do this with the vaccine, that's a big thing right now. The vaccine, it's like everybody should be mandated to take this vaccine. Well, do you realize that if you give somebody that power, that you're giving the other group power to do the same thing when something you don't want?
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So why do we do that? Why are we so separate? Why do you think America's become so divided?
Honestly, I think a big part of it is the media. I hardly ever watch the news anymore because all it is just negativity, and they spread what the agenda is, right? So they spread what they want you to hear. They put fear, right, in people. And a lot of people are scared. For the past 365 days, people have been fucking terrified.
I know.
Right? And I agree with you 100% on whether or not, like, I had my own family members and, like, very close people in my life, like, comment on things because they just didn't agree with me, right?
Angrily.
Very angry, right? So I'm like, I'm trying to tell these people, I'm like, guys, I don't disagree with you. Maybe I don't agree with you, right? But I was like, but that's you, right?
That's it.
You don't have to worry about me because guess what? I don't care about your opinion, right? I'll listen to it for sure. You know what I mean? I have my wife, one of my wife's best friends. We're on total opposite rooms, total opposite when it comes to some things, but we talk about it. You know what I mean? We can have a conversation. High five after, see you later. But why I think the world is divided, I think it's strictly just the media, dude.
Because they push it.
They have an agenda, and they push it, and they don't care what the outcomes are, right? They don't care whether the world gets lit on fire.
I think they know the outcome.
100%.
They have an outcome in mind.
Yep.
Which is chaos.
They say this is going to be great.
Right? It's chaos. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
It's like order. It's how do they create the problem. There's a problem that needs to be created in order to get to this solution. Mm-hmm. So how do we create a problem?
Yep.
And then they push it. They create the problem and then they put somebody else in there to provide that solution to this problem. But this is the end goal. This is what they had in mind the whole time.
Yep.
But they created the problem.
Yep. It's a whole storyline.
That's it.
Basically how it is. They write the story, And they always say, yeah, this is going to be the ending. This is going to be the climax of the whole shit.
I think it's starting to end, in my opinion.
I agree.
I think CNN.
Oh, what, media?
Fox. I do.
Do you? Okay.
And that's why I don't think you can see it like right now. Mm-hmm. But like, how many times do you turn on the news?
Never.
Right. But because my mom sits in that living room in that chair all day, and my wife is amazing, by the way. My wife's the one that takes care of her. But she has the news on.
Shout out wife.
Yeah, shout out the wife. Brownie points there.
Yeah, right.
But she, my wife is amazing though, dude. That's why my mindset's where it's at.
Right.
But my mom sits there and watches the news all day. I don't know anybody my age, I would say 30 and under, that does that anymore.
No.
But what we're doing right now, is what most people are watching. They're not watching me or not you yet, right? But they're watching like Joe Rogan. They're watching the podcasts.
Podcasts are the
people
way
talking.
The future, dude. I swear to God.
And that's what scares me the most is the silencing of people's opinions, right? Because now the media is not able. They're not getting the views they need, and especially since Trump was out of office, no one's watching it anymore, and they're starting to silence this because our opinions are not what they want to be heard. Right. It's not labeled right.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So I think podcast, and that's why I started this, dude. Yeah. I'm like, I'm on the internet talking to robots on Twitter.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Arguing with them.
That's what I'm like, this is definitely a robot, bro. Yeah. This is definitely a robot. look at Twitter, dude. When you go through Twitter and you look at like anybody comment, a political person on either side, and look at the comments. It's fake pictures with hate, and then real people arguing with
back.
And I'm like, dude, that is a robot.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that is not.
Yeah.
Or if it is a person, it's some fat dude sitting behind a computer. Just laughing at him. And it's like, but it made that other person so angry. Mm-hmm. They get so mad. And it's like, why?
Right.
Why? Like,
that's where I had to come to a point where, like, people's words were like, dude, they would destroy me. I couldn't even sleep. I'm like, I don't know what you call it.
I got that because that's where I got. Yeah, I feel
so, dude, people's words would like destroy me. Like things like somebody would say, like as little as like nobody likes you. I'm up. I'm like, yo, do people fucking like me?
Right.
I'm like beating myself up over this. Anxiety, they call that stuff, I guess, right? And like one day, I was just like, dude, I work with a guy named Gary Fitzgerald. He's the fucking greatest dude. I've one of the greatest people I've ever met. And he goes, Nick, you got the best mentality in the world. I said, what do you mean? He goes, you got the fuck it mentality. And I'm like, yeah, you're absolutely right. But that doesn't mean I don't care, right?
Right.
But I've learned to not let things, like, bother me, right? Like, the one post I posted, I forget what it was about, but something about the presidential thing. And people that I thought were, like, my friends, like, close family members to me, were, like, saying these things. And I'm like, yikes. Why? You care about this much?
Right.
Like, I get it, like, oh my God, this means a lot to you. I'm so sorry, but this is how I feel. This is how you feel. I'm not going to comment on anybody's post saying you're an idiot or, this is a disgrace, whatever it was. But it's just insane, dude.
It is. I'm definitely guilty of doing that. But in the process of doing that, I've learned so much about myself. Mm-hmm. Right? Yep. So, like, I've done that whole anger thing, that whole, because you believe that you're a sheep and stuff like that, right? Like, that was so dumb, but It was, my mind was where everybody else's was. Mm-hmm. Fear, bro.
Yeah.
It was fear, and I'm like, you know what? And I changed that mentality because I look back at, like, a month ago, and I'm like, why did I believe in what I believed in a month ago? Now I don't believe in that anymore.
Right.
Right? Like, things change, but I didn't know why I believed in what I believed in.
Right.
I just believed it.
Yeah.
So I started questioning why I believe what I believe. And I don't think people do that.
Right.
Right? That's part of critical thinking. People have these thoughts. Everybody thinks their ideas are real. I don't think any idea is right. No ideas are actually right, dude. Like, why? If you can question your idea, right? The thoughts that pop in your head, you can't assume are automatically correct.
Right.
Why do you believe that thought?
Yeah.
Like, why?
Why are you even having these thoughts? Like, what's making you have these thoughts?
It's you're creating your own reality.
Yep.
And I look at that because I was so into sports, bro. Mm-hmm. My sports, Eagles, Phillies, that was my life.
Yeah.
That was my reality. Gone. Completely gone out of my life. I didn't watch a single Eagles game last year. None of it. Why? How can I just change my reality that quick?
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. It's because of me questioning things. I wish I could get back into sports. I try so hard because it was my only distraction, but they're too political.
Yes.
And that's why I like UFC, because UFC hasn't gotten there really yet.
Right.
You hear it once in a while, dude, but...
it's not as extreme.
You could tell me because you watch it a lot more
than I do, 100%.
obviously,
it's not extreme.
I feel like Dana allows it to be anybody, whatever the hell you want to say, you're allowed to say.
Dana has that mentality. Listen, he's a Trump supporter, right, himself. He's out there, you know what I mean, tweeting stuff, and but he says it perfectly. He's just like, listen, these guys are their own bosses, right? They can do whatever the fuck they want, you know, outside the octagon, inside the octagon. But when it's here, you got to do what we want you to do. And that's it. It is what it is, right? The longest you're in a UFC octagon is 25 minutes.
Right.
Can't go in there longer.
Right.
Right? So for 25 minutes, all you got to do is show up and do your job. He's not asking much. They have free roam to post whatever they want. Where the Eagles or the Phillies, if somebody were to post some of the stuff that UFC fighters or any organization's fighters post, some of their posts, oh my God. It's $30,000, suspend it for 30 days, 90 days.
Because of an
for
opinion.
what? For your beliefs.
That's it.
That's why I like my Philly sports, right? I want to call myself a 4 for 4, but I mean, the Eagles are on, I'm watching. Phillies are on, I'm watching. Flyers are on, I'm watching. Sixers are on. I honestly, I think I like the Sixers the most, which is fucking very odd for me. I never played basketball a day in my life, but I don't know. But yeah, that's part of the reason why I love the UFC so much, because it's like so real. You know what I mean? It's so like it's very real. Like, and these dudes are, and these girls are just they're just themselves. They don't put on. Well, some of them put on a front, but it's something for show. Like, you know what I mean, before the fight and stuff. But 99% of the time, they're just themselves. And I think some of these athletes want to be something else that they're really not. Like, if you really sat them down in a room, no cameras, no microphones, no nothing, had a conversation with some of these athletes, they would, I really don't
be completely different.
I really don't get. Yeah, exactly. They'll just be themselves. You know what I mean? Right now that's them being completely different. They're not even being themselves.
Who sponsors most UFC fighters?
So they just changed them. So Reebok was like the number one sponsor. Their whole gear was decked out in Reebok. Now it's Venom.
Okay.
And then Monster Energy is a big time
now is that
sponsor.
For UFC sponsors?
Yeah.
Do they also sponsor fighters?
So fighters are sponsored. They can get sponsored by anybody.
They can get okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I can reach out to, say, Chris Dawkins and Kyle Dawkins right now and be like, hey, JoNick Fight Talk wants to sponsor you. Just wear our gear. We'll send you $500 a month.
Okay.
And they'll just like post us. They'll wear our stuff on their shit that they, you know what I mean, they get. But in the UFC, I don't believe you can like bring in anything with your sponsorships. It's all what the UFC is sponsored by.
Okay, so you can't bring anything in, but you can wear.
So like outside, like if you're in the, like, say if it's your fight week. See, I don't know. I would have to see that, but maybe during like media day, you can wear like, hey, like he's wearing this shirt. You know what I mean? Like he's wearing
and stuff
right,
like that?
Stuff like that.
Okay.
But like when you're like walking out to the octagon, can't do that.
Anything, whatever
Everything,
UFC sponsors are the only thing that you can actually.
Yes.
Okay.
It didn't used to be like that. You know what I mean? Like they could do whatever they want, and they had their whole banner up with all their sponsors on there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now I hardly ever see that now.
Okay.
You know,
I never really paid attention to the UFC. I've been getting more into UFC because of the reason that they're not these these political figures.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I think the sponsorship thing is what leads to a lot of that in other sports. That's why I asked the question. Because I think, you know, like LeBron James, for instance, like Nike, all this sponsors them. They have a big influence on what he believes.
Right.
Right? Like they influence, they're paying him. It's like if I say something wrong, Nike's not paying me.
Right.
Like,
oh no, you're 100% right.
Can say you need to say this, and he's gonna say it, right? He's gonna say it.
Yeah.
It's like the whole Hong Kong thing. All his sponsorships and everything, like if they're all dealt with in China, so he's not gonna ever speak out against China, or he's gonna lose all of that.
Yes.
It's all gone.
Yep.
Now I did hear that UFC made a deal with China, with that Tencent company. Do you know if that's the media rights?
So I don't know, but I heard you talking about that one time. Maybe not the UFC, but I heard you talking about that company.
Yeah.
I do not know if that's like for real or not. I honestly have no clue. But I do know the big thing that changed was the Venom. And that was just for the gear and like their number one sponsor or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
And you don't really hear anything about Venom or anything in the news.
I have not heard about it.
Right.
I haven't heard about it. I don't know.
I don't know what the whole China thing is. The Tencent company. I have no idea.
So what Tencent is like a they control the media outlets in China.
Right.
Right. So they control what the people of the citizens of China see.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. So that's why when you see in these sports things like NFL, NBA, MLB, all of these, if they speak out against Hong Kong, that's why they're getting taken down.
Yeah.
Because if it's not played in China, because they won't play it.
Yeah.
They won't air it if they're talking bad about China. They won't air that. So China has a huge influence on what those organizations are doing on TV.
Yeah.
And that's why I was questioning UFC to see if they were in any way.
So, it's funny you bring up that because Rose Namajunas is getting ready to fight Zhang Weili. She's the champ, and she's from China. And Rose came out and said, I can't quote because she said something about communism.
Yeah, well, it's the Communist Party of China that runs.
So she said something like along those lines. It's on Twitter. You can just look it up. Let me see if she... all right, we'll do that later. But anyway, yeah, she said something about it. And it just like kind of like went both ways on Twitter and things like that. But again, it's insane. But to answer your question, I have no idea if they did anything like that on the as far as like China and all that stuff.
It's, it is what it is, dude. I mean, it could go really both ways.
Right.
I personally, I don't really fear it anymore. It's like I just hope I'm wrong with all that China stuff.
Yeah.
But it is something people should be questioning. Like, why is it being silenced? Like the fact that you can't speak bad about China in our sporting is so bad for sports.
Right.
It's so bad because people need to hear about that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that the biggest platforms of people can't hear about that stuff is like, why?
Right.
Right? Like, why? China is right now... Are you familiar with what's happening in China at all?
Absolutely not.
Nobody talks about it, bro.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
In China, they have concentration camps that they're holding Uyghur Muslims in. That mRNA vaccine has been tested specifically on those Muslims for years. Mm-hmm. Why were they being tested on those Muslims? Why? Well, because they're in concentration camps and they're being used as lab rats.
Yeah. Nobody
cares. They just started putting Christians into these concentration camps. It's insane.
Right. That's absolutely insanity, dude. And then nobody talks about it. No news.
They can't because that Tencent and other companies has these a huge profit or ownership in a lot of our media outlets.
Yeah.
So it's like if you air this, we're not playing you over here.
Right.
And we have billions of people.
And that's money. Yep.
And that's where the money comes in. That's why we hear what they want us to hear. Censorship.
Yep.
And some people disagree.
It's absolutely insane.
It's crazy, right?
Right.
But, who am I?
Right. Yeah,
who am I? Dude, I have like 25 subscribers, dude. So.
Shout out to all of you guys.
But I just think it needs to be heard, whether you disagree with me or not. I think everything that we say here today is right and wrong.
Yes.
It just depends on who's listening.
Right, exactly.
They're going to be
They can say, yeah, exactly. Everyone can have their opinion. We're just speaking what we feel.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
So why not? People don't say what needs to be heard. They say what people want to hear.
Yep.
Right? And I think that's a problem.
That's absolutely a problem.
I'm
for sure.
Just like you said how you hate what people said about you, right? And it's like, no, dude, I needed to hear that shit.
Right.
I needed that. I might not have wanted to hear it.
Right, yeah.
But I needed to hear that.
It was like this, the fact that, like, listen, I can take criticism as good as the next guy, right? But I was just confused on why it hurt me so much, right? Yeah. I was like, wait, why the fuck do I care this much? And that's like, I mean, I'm talking like years ago, but like now I'm just like, dude, like, yeah, criticize me, man. I'll either learn from it or just let you talk and then just say, thanks.
That's it, man. It does. And it still does hurt me. I still care a little bit. Right. I can't say I fully don't care because I do.
Well, everyone cares, for sure. Yeah.
But I don't take it as much as I used to.
Right, yes. I agree.
Right? I now don't assume that why... I felt like before it was a big thing with assumptions, right? Like I was assuming that what they were saying, you were saying it to me because you want it to hurt my feelings. Right. That was my assumption. Like you want to make me feel like shit. That's why you're saying it. And sometimes that's not the issue.
Right.
Sometimes they're saying it because they don't know. They don't even know.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's what they're doing. But people still say that stuff.
Yeah.
And
that'll never go away, dude. No matter what.
It never will.
It never will.
Never will. And if people keep taking that stuff to heart,
they're getting what they're getting. They have an agenda. And they said, I want to say this, and I hope it fucking hurts their feelings.
That's it.
And when they find out it hurt your feelings, they're like, yes.
Yeah, and that's on them, dude.
You know what I mean?
All it does is hurt your soul.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Here's a controversial thing with UFC, dude.
All right.
Transgender fighters.
You want to know my thoughts on that?
I want to know your thoughts.
Absolutely not.
On transgender. Why not?
Why? Yeah. Well, first off, so say I'm a UFC fighter, right? And I'm like, one day I wake up, I'm like, gonna be a chick. Because it's easy. You know what I mean? It's easy just to wake up one day and you're like, yo, I'm a girl, dude. Been a girl my whole life. I'm just happy to talk about it now. Absolutely not. Not allowed. Because, one, somebody will get... You're putting someone's life online.
Murdered.
Right? You're going to seriously hurt someone. Imagine if a girl... Right? Like, and listen, I don't care about like men becoming women or women becoming men. I don't care about that. That's what you want. That's your life. Good. But to get into like a fight... Like, could you imagine yourself fighting a woman who is a man at the same age you are right now, and they're the same age as you? Right? They were just like, "Go fight me." Like you'd be like, "No, I'm not fighting you." Right?
Wouldn't do it.
And absolutely not. That's not the sport for that.
Is there any fix for that?
What do you mean?
Like, does the UFC? Because dude, they get criticized all the time.
Yeah.
Because they won't do it. Correct? UFC.
Ever.
Right,
never.
Like
Dana White would never allow that.
Right, and they get criticized on that, saying they're not diverse or they're not that is not socially accepted now.
Yeah,
and I don't understand why people can't see the danger.
Right,
that it not even the danger. It's not fair to women.
Yes, exactly.
Like regular women.
Right.
There's a weightlifting thing, and
that dude's killing, or that woman's killing it.
Killing it.
Absolutely crushing it.
And now all the other women that have got to that level of success, it's like they didn't do anything.
Right.
Because now this person has taken over. And I think that's what would happen in the UFC. And do you has Dana ever talked out?
I don't know. I never heard him talk about it, but knowing how he is in his interviews and how he doesn't give a shit, he'll be honest with you 100%. I think he would say absolutely the fuck not. I think he would honestly respond with, "Don't ask me those stupid fucking questions."
Right.
I swear to God.
Yeah. It is, though, man. I just wanted your opinion.
Yeah.
It is a controversial thing in fighting right now.
Right. Like, baseball? Yeah. Let her play baseball. Or, like, he wants to be a girl, let him play softball. You know? Or, like sports like that. Like, dude, LeBron versus
They would still be dominated, though. Like,
they would still...
If LeBron wanted to be a woman, if he came out and was like, "I've been a woman this whole time," and went to the WNBA...
Yeah, it'd be unfair.
What would happen in that WNBA?
It'd be unfair, dude. I mean, it's unfair and he's a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
but that he could do that.
Right, 100%.
He might feel that way, dude. And he's been fighting it his whole life, that he's actually a woman, and finally he does it, and now he's in the WNBA, and now there's no more WNBA. It's just
LeBron.
LBA. But it is, man.
Yeah.
And it's, to me, stuff like that bothers me.
100%, dude.
It bothers me. It bothers me for multiple reasons. One, because it's praised. Mm-hmm. It's like this person did something that had the courage to do. It's like, to me, I don't see it that way anymore. Mm-hmm. I don't see transgenders as that anymore. I think if you want to do that, you go ahead. If you feel like you're a woman, go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Why do you need my acceptance?
Right. Why do you need it to be like?
Why do you need the world to accept?
Right.
What you are. Like, why can't you accept that I don't accept?
Right. Yes, exactly. Like, yo, I've stayed a man my entire life, dude. 28 years. Can you imagine?
And if you had kids right now, you're married to a beautiful woman, and you're like, I want to leave, you leave her right now as a man. Mm-hmm. People hate you.
Oh, 100%.
But if you say, you know what, Tori, and 6 kids, my army of children.
Yeah.
I always thought I was a woman. That took courage.
Yes. I'll be on 6 ABC, Channel 10, everything.
You know what? And then he could become the Secretary of Health for the United States.
Yes.
And be praised for it.
Yep.
Why?
Dude, it's just the world we live in.
How is that courage?
Right.
To manipulate and lie to your wife the whole time. She thinks that you're
a great husband.
And the best part about it is you could be a lesbian.
Yep.
She could still
be with her.
Be with women.
Yep.
No, other women.
Right. Yeah,
you can leave your wife, leave your kids, become a woman, and date women, and you'll be praised.
Yep.
But if you do it as a man, you're a scumbag.
Huge scumbag, dude. Piece of shit.
So you can lie to your wife and not love her as a woman, but you can't lie to your wife and not love her as a man. Mm-hmm. Makes absolutely no sense.
Not allowed, dude.
And nobody sees the hypocrisy in that. It's absolutely ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Do it before you get married, and I'll say it took courage.
Right.
Do it before you have kids, and it took courage.
Yeah.
You do it after you're married with kids,
that's not
you're
courage.
Still a loser.
Yep. That is a full-blown coward.
You're still a coward.
Yep.
Because you just lied and destroyed your kids' lives for what? And then America praises it.
Yep. It's crazy, dude.
And then he can fight in UFC and whoop some ass.
Right.
You
know what I was thinking about the other day when you know what I was doing? I was scrolling through TikTok.
Yeah,
and there was
sometimes.
It is, yeah. So it really is, dude. There's some funny people in the world, dude. It's great. But I happened to scroll by this one, and it appeared to be a woman, right, on this TikTok. The woman sounded like me, so obviously I said, "All right, well, she used to be a man, right?" And he said, whatever it is. I shouldn't say that. That's not socially acceptable, dude. My bad. We'll edit it. She goes,
"You're canceled."
She goes, "Oh, dude, JoNick Fight Talk's done." She goes, "Not a single veteran in the world has more courage than what I went through and what I did in my life." And a part of me wanted to respond to this TikTok, and I'm like, "Wait, why would I even do that?" Because it's probably it's probably fake. Like he's just trying to get like famous. You know what I mean? She's trying to get followers.
They feel that way.
What?
I think that the person
you're 100%
feels that way, and I think they have the right to feel that way.
You think they have the right?
I do.
Okay.
Well, everyone you have the right to feel however you want to feel about things, right?
Yep.
And it was probably a very hard decision.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't imagine. I mean, for sure, it is difficult.
But I still think you're lost.
Me or them?
People.
Oh, people. Okay.
I think transgender people still, for the majority of it, still. I think you do it. I think what happens is it's a dysphoria of not fitting in with where you're at. Mm-hmm. Right. So I think it has a lot to do with your upbringing, who you're around when you're a child.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question.
Go.
Do you think they are born that way?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
All right.
I personally believe that what's it like to feel like a woman? Like, what does that mean?
Right.
Right? Like, people say you can't, when it comes to abortion, it's like you can't have an opinion on abortion because you're not a woman. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Right? Like, what does it feel like to be a woman? Like, I won't ever understand that.
Right.
I guess maybe it's a thing, but I don't even know what it feels like to be a man.
That's what literally I was just about to say. Like is this what it's supposed to feel like?
I bet me and you feel completely different.
Yeah. Like, we have different thoughts. We have different views. We have different everything.
What is it to be a man, and what is it to be a woman?
Yeah, what defines a man?
What is that, dude? It's just masculinity. So that all comes from a philosophy of masculinity and femininity. Femininity?
Feminism?
That's why I need my wife here. She is a grammar.
Femininity?
Whatever it is, dude. Femininity, feminine, whatever the hell it is. But that's where male and female come from. And I think that what happens is they're not accepted within where they're at, or they don't feel that what's it supposed to be like to be a man, strong, tough. They don't feel like they're that. And now it's being socially accepted and put all over TV that this is acceptable. And it's like, maybe that's me. That's what I think it became. It's
Right.
like, maybe I am a woman.
Yeah. Media. Back to the fucking media,
Right?
dude.
Like, I think there is legitimate people out there that feel like they're a woman. They get to... And,
Yes.
And that's what it is. But I think today's world,
Yep.
there's a lot of people... Because I know that I've never... there's been so many times in my life where I'm like, I don't feel accepted.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel accepted today.
Right.
And it's like, where can I look to become accepted?
Yep.
And then you see that. It's like, maybe that's...
Yeah, look,
Maybe
look
that's the
at
answer.
the attention they're getting.
How many things have you done in your life and the person, your character that you've become, and went in with this group of people and then realized that that's not where you belong?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, multiple times, dude.
It happens to me.
Yeah.
I never went and said I'm a woman and got in that group and was like, you know what, that's probably not right.
Right.
But I've went with these groups of friends that I've realized that this isn't who I want to be, this isn't what I am, and I've completely left that and became something else.
Right.
And I think that's a very vast majority of these individuals. And I hope I'm wrong, because it's as soon as you get that surgery and stuff, dude, like there's no coming back from it.
Can't come back. There's no reverse.
So I hope it makes that person as happy as they think
For sure.
that it's going to make them.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think it will.
Right.
And
I think it's all, and you're absolutely right. There are some people out there that were, born a boy, and they grow up, and for some reason they just don't fit in. Right? They're just like, maybe they feel like they're not as good at sports as the other boys in their class, or
because that's what's going on around them.
Right.
That's what the boys are doing.
Mm-hmm. The boys are all fucking, talking to girls, and they're all cracking jokes, and they're all playing basketball at recess and playing football, whatever they're doing. And you always just said, maybe I don't want to play. You know what I mean? You're just a little, I don't want to call them different, but there are some people out there that from day one, they realize, or like in grade school, they realize, like, yeah, I'm not like them.
Right.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're like the girls either. Maybe you're just you as a person.
That's it. I think that's the problem.
That's what
Nobody's
I really
a you.
think. Right.
Nobody's a you anymore.
You're you, dude. You're your own person.
That's it.
You don't have to change anything. Just be you.
That's it. You were.
And that's
born-
what I tell people all the time, dude. My nieces and nephews, they sometimes come up to me, Uncle Nick, I got made fun of today. For what? Oh, I don't know. I farted in class,
so
and I went to
sad.
hide it. I know. And it's
hurts
like
my soul.
It
dude.
literally, it's so bad now. Like, it's the stuff I hear. Like, dude, some of my nieces and nephews, they come home and they're like, "Well, this is what I hear from my brothers," and they're like devastated.
I know.
And how do you, like, how we acted when we were younger? We would just fist fight. Can't do that anymore.
Nope.
So, what do you do? Like, how do you get someone to like you that makes fun of you every single day, Monday through Friday, and then you're good for the
Maybe they're
weekend?
Not supposed to like you.
Right. Just stay away from them.
Just-
Maybe later on down the line, you'll go become friends when you get a little bit more mature or something.
I think the society too, that we're coming back to the child thing too, man. Like that, it's like I think we teach our kids not to offend rather than how to be
Just be themselves.
strong as themselves, right? Mm-hmm. So we're too busy telling them you can't call somebody this or that, not realizing that somebody's going to call them something,
Yep.
and they're not going to be able to handle it because they've been raised to just not offend,
Right.
instead of being strong and loving themselves. We teach love them.
Right.
Not
so, as you as a father, Liam's in school.
Liam's
All right.
kindergarten.
So
He's been
raising
to 2 schools
him,
already.
is it like were you like that? Were you like, listen, you can't call people this,
No.
or you can't? You just said, let
No.
him learn on his own, right? Let him learn.
I think he needs to learn on his own. I think experience is the biggest
Absolutely, 100%.
biggest way to learn. But I think so. I do things a lot differently than what my parents did for me, and I could be completely wrong. But like, for instance, Liam, and I'll go back to. I'm going to start from how I did it in the beginning, before he could talk and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Words were just starting to come out of his mouth that I thought he was talking very good until I watched a video today. I'm like, what the hell was that?
It's
kid
going to be me
saying?
at the end of the podcast.
Probably. But so like jumping on the couch. Most parents, if they're jumping on something, get off the couch. Stop jumping on the couch. Where I started that way and realized that he's still fucking jumping on the couch.
Yeah.
He's not stopping.
Right.
So I ask him why he's jumping on the couch. Right? I tell him, do you know that this could happen when you jump on the couch? Then he finally got hurt. jumping on the couch. And I said, are you still going to jump on the couch? Remember I asked you why you were jumping on the couch and this could happen? And now you hurt yourself. So now you jumped on the couch. And I said, why are you jumping on the couch? Do you remember what happened last time? He stops. Never jumps on the couch again.
Yeah.
Why? Because he had to come up with that thought. We think by telling people things or telling our kids things that they're just going to start doing it. But if they don't know why they can't do it, or why, if they don't think they came up with the idea, they're never going to believe it.
Right.
They need to come up with that thought.
Yeah. My biggest fear in life is making a kid exactly like me.
Oh, bro.
I don't want to.
It scares to death. Man, that's what we do, right?
And listen, like...
Isn't that what we do? We create ourselves again?
Swear to God, dude. Like, and like you see it every day. Do this, do that, do this, do that. Rather than... Like, obviously, there has to be parenting, right? You have to be a parent. But, like, let them become whatever they're going to become, what they were destined to be. And just guide them on the way.
That's it. And that's what I do, man.
I was terrified.
And I make them... The strong thing is... When he comes to school, I ask him, what he learned, and then I ask him why he learned it, and I ask him what questions he asked in school. And he's asked, I don't know if he actually does it or not, but I say, ask 3 questions today. I don't care what the teacher, just ask 3 questions. I don't care what they are. I want you to ask 3 questions. Mm-hmm. He's in kindergarten, so I just want you to ask 3 questions. I don't care what they are.
The teacher's probably 22.
Yeah, I think she is a young girl.
Right.
But asking questions is important because in school today, like I said earlier, it's like always that why.
Yep.
So ask the questions. And when it comes to strength, I always make sure, like when we play baseball outside, I'm always telling him in his head, I'm like, tell yourself you can do it. Mm-hmm. Tell yourself I can do this in your mind. Just keep telling yourself that I can do it. Instead of me telling him he can do it. Mm-hmm. You can do it. I said, no, you tell yourself.
Right.
Believe in yourself. His values come from me respecting him and then me not allowing him to disrespect me.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. So kids are going to be kids, and he says some disrespectful things, and I'll say, why did you just say you hate me?
Right.
Why, Liam?
Right.
And it all comes down to it was an emotion. Like, he doesn't know why.
Right.
He was mad because I told him he couldn't play on his tablet and we got to go do something outside, and now he's just taking it out. I hate you.
Right.
He doesn't even know what hate means.
Right.
Do you know what hate means? Like, why do you hate me?
He just heard it a couple of times.
He heard it somewhere and he knows it was mean.
Yeah.
And he just lashed out.
Mm-hmm.
But I won't just allow it to happen. We need to deal with it right now.
Right. Deal with it right away.
And we need to talk about it.
Yeah.
My wife's way better at that than me.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to talk about it right now.
Yeah.
You can't just let that stuff go.
Right.
And I think that's where the disrespecting thing from other kids comes into play as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And
right.
I just don't think that's what's being taught today. It's more like, don't do this to other kids, don't do that. And then we're so busy on this a lot of times where we're letting our kids get away with things that you don't realize they're getting away with because take this tablet.
Right.
Go in the corner with your tablet, dude.
Yeah.
Get away from me. I can't be bothered right now.
Right, exactly.
But I see it a lot, man. Kids they're on tablets. They're not really being paid attention to.
I was thinking about that the other day, and I'm like, listen, I get it. Like, parents are going to be parents. However they want to parent, that's all you, right? You're just telling how you do it.
Yeah.
But I remember obviously it was back in early 90s, but all I wanted to do was be outside.
It's not like that anymore, man.
Never.
It's not.
Ever.
It's
like, I just wanted to go play street hockey or play whatever we were doing, right? And now it's just like these things control our life. I'm part of the problem, right? Like, I'm on my phone quite a bit, but like I'm like, when did this even like start?
Yeah, dude, right after MySpace and AIM.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, dude.
It just took off.
You know,
it controls our life.
It literally does.
And
people, how do you feel about, like, you know how you search things?
Yeah.
And like you're looking up like, oh, I need microphones for a podcast.
Yeah.
And then like you're scrolling through like Facebook or something.
And it's all microphones.
It's all on there.
Yeah.
Do you think, like, what are your, like, is that fucking weird? Or
if you go into like your settings on your Facebook app and stuff, you can see what you're allowing Facebook to monitor you.
Okay.
I personally, I personally, at this point, dude, I just become. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Do I like it? No.
Right.
I know it's there though.
Right.
Right. I think being aware of it is more important than anything.
So you think like people know like tracking devices, shit like that?
I think that they could be watching through my camera right now.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
It's insane.
I fully believe it. I don't think they care what I'm doing though.
Right.
And if they did,
they're saying some fucked up shit.
Yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I was telling my wife the other day, I'm like, if somebody's watching through my camera sometimes, dude, I said, babe, if I haven't seen you for 3 days and then they're looking at my camera and I'm in the bathroom, they're not looking at anything pretty.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's like, why? It's like we are the money.
Yep.
We are the money right now.
Yeah.
People are, Facebook is paying whatever it is, or they're getting paid to do stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And some people don't know that that's happening. Some people don't know why they are buying the things they're buying.
Yeah.
Because Facebook's been showing it to you forever, or Instagram. Or my buddy Hellwig, dude, he says the same thing. He's like, dude, social media is the problem.
Yeah.
Just get off. And I'm like, well, it's over. Just get off of social media.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I? If I get off it, what's that going to solve? He's like, well, it's going to solve your reality.
Right.
Like, you're right. But because I didn't have Facebook for the longest time. Mm-hmm. I recently, within the last year and a half, because I've become so, and I think it has a lot to do with my kids.
Yeah.
I've become so mindful of the political aspect of things. Mm-hmm. Like watching the Sixers and they have the Black Lives Matter on the court.
Yes.
And I think that's when I started getting back on social media when that Black Lives Matter thing happened. I started questioning, why is this happening? Mm-hmm. And you don't realize you're seeing that.
Right.
If you're not paying attention, but you are seeing it, whether you're consciously or unconsciously seeing that it's it's in your face 24/7. Do I want my kids to be looking at that same thing?
Right.
And I don't. Mm-hmm. I don't want my kids looking at that. I don't want my kids looking at it with all lives matter.
Right.
I don't want that stuff in my kids' face constantly.
Because all it does is causes like, what word am I looking for? Starts with an S. It causes. All it does is cause. Fuck, dude. It just causes like. I forget, dude. Fuck. It, like, not segregation. Fuck. It's Oh well, it'll come to me. But that's what it is. It's like. It's just dividing. That's all it is. It's dividing the world.
That's it, dude. And
That's
it's like, why?
That took me 5 minutes to say.
That's all right, dude.
Can we cut that?
That's all right, dude. Just let it play. Honestly, the reality of it is, if people get this far into this interview anyway,
right?
Thank you.
True. Yeah, we appreciate you.
But I mean, that's what happens when people watch the video anyway. But I agree, dude. And it's a scary. It's a scary thought for kids. Mm-hmm. They don't need to be seeing that, man.
Right.
Watch Nickelodeon.
Right.
I was down Wildwood last year, and they have these little, and I hate using race, so I'm not even going to use it, but they have these little kids on there saying that they feel empowered. You're 6.
Right.
You hired a 6-year-old to put on Nickelodeon to say you feel empowered? What? You shouldn't feel empowered, kid.
Yeah.
There's
Come here, I'll show you fucking empowerment.
You don't, like, why are you throwing that in kids' faces? That is not fair to kids. Let kids be kids.
Yes. Absolutely right, dude.
Let kids be kids. Don't let your kid be a white kid. Don't let your kid be a black kid. Your kid is a kid.
Right. Absolutely, dude.
Stop telling them that they're something that they are not. They are them. Mm-hmm. Stop telling them that they're a gay kid,
right?
A transgender kid. No, they're kids. Let them be kids.
Yeah.
They should not be taking pride in their color.
Right.
I think that's a huge problem.
Absolutely right.
I don't take pride in my color.
Neither do I. Never even thought about my color before all of this started.
Ever.
In my life.
Talking about color, what is your opinion on white privilege?
White privilege?
Yeah. Is it real?
I think it is real to an extent. I think it's real. I don't think it's as real as like a lot of people fucking like they like. I could literally say oh, I got this car deal for $228 a month. Oh, what? You bought the same car? It's $235. Oh, yeah, that's because you're white. Like, I don't think that's white privilege. I think when people say white privilege, I think I don't think
I get the sensitive topics.
That's fine with me. I'm totally cool with talking about it. I think it is real, but it's not as extreme as what everybody says it is. I think in certain cases it can show, like some businesses are more likely to hire a white person than a black person. I think that is
depending on the hiring person.
Yes, depending on the hiring person. Yes.
There's also businesses. Do you think there's businesses that would rather hire a black person?
Absolutely. In recent times, yes, absolutely.
So where is? I believe it's real.
Right.
But I also
think we have
think
the same.
It's only real in the people that believe it's real. So I will never ever say that. I went back and forth on this topic for a long time, trying to figure out how I thought about it.
Yeah.
This is kind of the topic that got me into all of this, was white privilege. Because I've never felt privilege.
I never did either.
Right? So I don't know what that means. However, I've also never felt oppressed. I've never felt like I've been selectively put down. And I've definitely never felt privileged or oppressed based on my skin color. Right? If I felt any of those things, it was because of me, what's inside. It's never been what's on the outside. That's where I stand with that. When I hear white people talk about white privilege and how it's real, it exists in that person.
Yes.
That person, the only reason that they feel like it's real is because they feel like their skin color has provided them privileges in their life, which in return would make that person racist.
Right.
And for some reason, it's the opposite of that person that is being called racist. The one that doesn't believe their skin color has provided any privileges.
Yeah.
And it makes no sense to me why.
Yeah.
When I think about things, I think about them in opposites now.
Right. So when I was answering your question, I guess I couldn't really come up with an answer.
Bro.
It is a tough question, but I couldn't come up with an answer, so I don't know. Listen, I personally do, but I think you hit the nail on the head, dude. Is when people believe something, it's because they've probably experienced it and they believe it themselves, right? So, and it's all about experiences in life. That's what I always tell people. I'm like, you got to experience, right? Like, you just got to experience what I went through or what you went through or anybody went through. But as far as that, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a fucking awkward subject. It's a tough question. I talk about anything now. I don't give a fuck. I just think, listen, I never used my skin color for anything a day in my life. I don't have to, right? And either do black people, either do Hispanic people, either do fucking anybody in the world. You shouldn't have to use your skin color. You should have to use you as a person is where you're going to go in life. Your thoughts, your beliefs, everything is where it's going to take your life, not your skin color.
No, but the media made it feel like your skin color is who you are.
Right.
So I would like to know what it's like to be, like, what is it that you take pride in for being white? What is it? What is being white? What is it?
Right.
What is the pride in being black? What is it? Because I know I've had black friends that skateboard. I have black friends that, when I used to hang out and when I used to dress, I had Drabeau and the tall white tee.
The white tees, yeah.
Like, I've had friends, black friends like that. I've had white friends that skateboard and white friends that play video games, black friends that play video games, and they're all completely different people. So how are you going to take that group of black people and this group of all these black people and say, you are all the same? Mm-hmm. And believe that.
Listen, it's all about how I don't.
How do you believe that you're the same as every black person in the world?
Right, you're not. Nobody's the same. We're not the same.
I know.
You know what I mean?
So why do we?
And we've known each other for fucking 28 years.
It doesn't make any sense.
29. I don't know fucking know. But
how old am I again?
29.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 29 years.
Yeah, I forget sometimes.
So,
30 fucking years old.
I know, dude. But
30 and 3 kids.
But it's all about, dude. And I'll take this to the grave with me. Listen, I was raised to fucking treat that person right here, treat the other person right there. You're all the fucking same person.
Yeah. At what point?
I don't get, like, dude. And the media puts out this shit. Like, this fucking world is so racist. Maybe the media is fucking racist.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe the media is so racist that they want everyone to think this is such a racist world that we live in.
Yeah.
And even like the whole government. The government's a fucked up situation. It has been for years. So
always will be.
Always will be.
It's a necessary evil.
Yes, it'll never change. So maybe they're the most racist people up there. Maybe us as like Americans, citizens, maybe we're not even racist. Maybe we're just taught to believe that we are.
Dude, you know what this is what I think about a lot. How many people, like you hear, let's go back to 1960, right? And they're like, this person was an influence. These 100 people in the 60s that you can look up and find in the history books is the 100 people that you've heard of. What about the other millions of people that lived? How are they living?
Right.
How were me and you, me and you of the worlds in the 60s living?
Right.
Were they having this same exact conversation? We'll never know. You only know the most influential people of that time, and that's the only people you hear about. You don't hear about the middle class.
Right. What were other people doing?
You have no idea.
Yep.
You only hear about the extremes on both levels throughout history. You never hear about that middle ground. Mm-hmm. And I think throughout history, that middle ground has been going through this same mental battle for a very long time.
I had a conversation with somebody at work about this the other day, and I said to them, the world will never change, right? Ever.
It's always going to repeat itself.
It's always going to, like, right. History repeats itself. That's what the fucking famous line is. And I guarantee you that there were fucking average people like you and me in the 60s, fucking 40s, the 50s, the 30s, saying, wow, that's really fucked up what they're doing over there. We should probably do something about it. But they don't care, right? Because the media and everything like that, like you said, puts out the most extreme stuff. And that's what you learn about in history class.
That's it.
That's all you learn about.
Is the extremes. You never hear about...
Nobody's going to hear from us.
No.
Ever.
They're not going to
Unless they watch this video and say, wow, there was really people out there. There was people out there that 2021? Wow, they didn't care about all this shit?
Right. It's crazy. But you never hear about it. Or if you do, so... I never put this out there really publicly. My family... some of my family members know, but my son that I just had, his name is Malcolm. Mm-hmm. And I named him after Malcolm X.
Yeah.
People hate Malcolm X. They think he was this extremist. And he wasn't. He was. And when he died, his whole mentality was so different. He changed his life from being the segregationist to somebody that wanted to integrate. And that's when he was murdered. Mm-hmm. Because of what he was trying to do and what he saw was happening. He literally said that he would meet with the KKK and have this conversation and be like, all right, how are you going to scare the black folks so that we can make sure that we can control them? Mm-hmm. That's how they did it. The leaders of the black community would meet with the KKK, and at that time it was the Nation of Islam.
Right.
They would meet with the KKK and plot together and be like, okay, we're going to do this so that the black, like us of the time, can look up and say, we need protection from this guy. We got to listen to this guy. Mm-hmm. When he's the one that set it up.
Yeah.
He set it up to KKK to come and kill this guy so that he could remain in power. Mm-hmm. There's people in the world that don't ever want the race problem to end because they lose power.
Yep.
They're telling you they want it to end, but they don't.
They don't.
Because if it ends, who are they?
Yep.
And they lose their purpose. So they're the ones pulling all your own leaders. The person that you're looking up to is like, save them. They're creating the problem.
Right. So I don't know if people are going to watch this or not, nor do I care. But the BLM organization, them people don't give a fuck about what happens in the streets of any city. Nope. Philly, Minneapolis, Chicago, Baltimore. They don't care. Because guess what? They'll be out there. They'll do their thing. Donate to us. Donate to us. Donate to us. And then they'll just go out and buy their fucking mansions that they were just buying. They just
bought, and you're not even allowed to talk. You know that they banned them articles from Facebook? That article that was going around about that, I forget her name, but one of the founders.
Yeah.
They banned that article, and then they said that they banned it because it was putting her house on, like a picture of her house as for everybody to see.
Yeah.
It's like when a cop kills a black man in the middle of the street, the cop's house is on the front page of the news, and so is the victim's house is on the front page of the news. Why aren't those articles being right? So the guy that died and the guy that shot him,
disclose everything.
They're both their TVs, both their houses are right on TV
because it fits the agenda, dude.
But you're gonna pull this one off because of her house is on there? Mm-hmm. Is it because she has money?
Yeah.
Because the cop definitely doesn't have that much money. Cops don't make that much money.
Right.
And the guy that died probably didn't make that much money.
Yep.
You don't care about either family because you don't realize that all the Blue Lives Matter people, you don't know what they're capable of. They see the victim's house. They could go to the house and do something to the family.
Yep.
Just as if the people that are like screw the police can show up to the cops' house and do something.
Yeah. I mean, the female cop in Minneapolis just had to get her family and run out of her house because they attacked their house or something. Yep. It's just insane. Why are you disclosing that information?
Immediately,
like, dude, simultaneously, she lives here, this is her house, and then you have a bunch of cops protecting the house.
Yep.
Why are you even dropping her address?
Why would you do that?
Why would you drop even the victim's address?
Either one, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Leave that, let them figure it out, and then after it's done, because now it's like you're guilty immediately.
Yep.
Immediately, whatever you do, you're just guilty of it, and then it's like, here's the hate.
So I was...
But they don't wait till the court hearing to say whether or not this stuff happened. It's like, well, this happened to go riot, and then when the court finds out that it's, illegal, something that was legal or not legal, it's burn again.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You get like all this chaos and people hating like it was them, and then they put the mom on, right? The kid dies and they put the mom on, and everyone's like, well, look at the mom. It's trying to say you have two sides of it, right? You have the Blue Lives Matter people like that are looking at it like, look at them saying that was a good boy, and he's not a good boy, he was a criminal. Bro, if I was a criminal and I got shot by a cop and you put my mom on the news immediately, she is not going to sit there and say I'm a criminal. She's going to talk about the parts that she misses the most and why she's so hurt.
Right.
Don't criticize for what she's saying. It's the kid's mom.
Right.
Like, I don't care what that kid did. That mom's going to see the history of how good that kid was because it's his mom.
Yep.
Right? So you have that group of people saying, screw that. He was a criminal. It's like, bro, that's his mom. And then you have the other side feeling a sense of feeling related to that because they have kids.
Yeah.
Right? And they're like, I can relate. I'm a mother of, and if they're black, I'm a mom. Black kids. And now they're relating and thinking the same thing.
Yep.
And it causes this mass division, and nobody can see it from what it is.
Yep.
Because I have kids, and I know if my son was a devil, if he were to get shot by a cop, the things I'm going to remember are all the good.
Yep. Absolutely, dude.
The bad is not going to be what's sitting in my head immediately. I'm going to be on TV, and I'm going to be remembering the good. But I won't accept the interview either.
Right, yeah. I would be like, no, get the fuck away.
You know what I mean? I won't accept that interview. But it just it doesn't make sense to me, bro.
I was looking up some stats. I don't know why I even wanted to, but in today's world, that those cop stories are the only ones to make the news. Right?
That's it.
When a cop kills a black person.
And not every time it happens either. Specific ones are always shown.
Right, exactly. So there's way more than just what they show on the news.
There's so many more.
And then when I look up things, I don't know how true these stats are or anything like that, but I looked at multiple things. More white people are killed by cops every year.
Yeah.
Right? So but that never fits the media, right? Nor do I care, right? Listen, I don't care if I shouldn't say I don't care, right? But I don't find it a necessary thing to do to post stories like that, right? Like why are we posting stories about a pullover and somebody getting shot? Now in the world we live in, I get why they're doing it. So why aren't you just showing every single one?
Yeah, they can't
show every single one.
They won't, and they can't. And the fact of the matter is, people believe that is it. that's a problem. People think that is all that it is. People think that black people are just walking down the street and being shot by cops for no reason.
Right.
People believe that.
Yeah, I know.
But I've never seen one yet. I've seen things that you can play in slow motion and say, why did the cop do that? Right? Like, why? But you're talking 15 seconds of time that you can put on replay.
Right.
And watch over and over and say, well, he could have did this. He could have done a lot of things.
Right.
You could have done a lot of things. 15 seconds is quick.
Yeah.
And do cops always make the best decision? No. But do criminals? No. Right? Does somebody that's committing the crime, or even if they're not committing a crime, could they have done something differently? Yes.
Yeah.
They could have.
Right.
But so could the cop.
So, like, perfect story is the most recent one in Minneapolis, right?
Yeah.
The kid is literally doing his thing, just staying on the car, doing right. And out of nowhere, something in his mind changes, saying, you know what? I'm gonna get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a good idea. I don't want to be arrested. So I'm gonna get in my car and try pulling away. Listen, I don't know if he had like a weapon on him or anything like that, but regardless. And then the cop, you hear her in the video, taser, 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 and she's clearly holding her gun. Right? And you can, if I had a taser right here and a gun right here, you'd be able to sit with your eyes closed. You'd pick one up, you'd be like, well, that's the gun, this is the taser. I've never been in a situation where it's like that. Like you would consider that a crazy situation, right?
It is.
So I've never been in a crazy situation like that. But there is such thing as blacking out from a situation where you don't even think, you just react.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you're like, whoa, how the fuck did I do that? You know? And I don't know if that was the case or anything like that, but obviously that's clearly a mistake, right? But to avoid all that, just listen, man.
That's it.
And that's what I tell people all the time.
There's no responsibility anymore. No. I look at situations like that and I say, okay, look, that kid needs to take responsibility and say that kid could have just accepted the consequence of what was about to happen. That cop, where's the responsibility of the difference between a taser and a gun?
Right.
Which one outweighs the other, in my opinion?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's how things need to be looked at. It's like nobody looks at what was the responsibility of both parties there. And one, that cop, I don't know the difference, dude. I don't know what a taser feels like. I don't know. But I do think, I do think she should have known the difference between her gun and a taser, and she probably shouldn't have been a cop.
Right.
In my opinion.
Right. No,
I don't think she should have been a cop.
Right. Absolutely right.
And you could kind of hear the fear in
her
almost the whole time. You can kind of hear the fear of, what do I do next?
As soon as the one cop told her to come over here and like grab his arm or whatever she had to do, you could tell she was like hell nervous.
Do you know if she was newer or not?
I'm not too sure. I didn't like look too into the story. I just watched the video.
Away from those stories now, dude.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
They make me so angry, and it's like, who am I to judge?
Right. Regardless of which side you're on, right? And even if you're in the middle, like whatever it is, and whether or not, like,
very rare.
Listen, pro cops, you're blue. You know what I mean? Blue lives matter. Those people, you know, they're to the death, right? And listen, I support Philly police. I support all cops.
Yeah, I have family that's police officers.
Right.
But I've also been arrested.
Same here. You know? So, but listen, I don't understand why more people can't see from both sides.
It's assumptions, dude.
Mm-hmm.
We have these pre-assumptions in our mind that all cops are good. I personally think the biggest problem in the world is everybody thinks they're good.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever they believe in is good.
Yep.
And anything else is evil. Nobody accepts the fact that we have the capability of being evil.
Right.
There's things that I've done in my life that are evil.
Mm-hmm.
And I accept that.
Right.
And I mean evil.
Mm-hmm.
I've done some terrible things in my life.
Yeah.
I've done some really good things in my life.
Right.
I don't think I'm good.
Right.
I don't. I think that I have the ability to be evil. I think I've just became this throughout my, even through the beginning of Liam's years of his life. I was a monster.
While Liam was born.
Yeah. So he was born, and then I've been sober now for almost 5 years. So his first 2 years of life, like I was an evil person.
Yeah, I still read that book you sent me.
Which one?
When I was going
Jordan
through
Peterson?
Yeah.
Dude, he's the man. He changed my life.
I literally, like, I've read it once, and I'm in the process of reading it a second time.
Dude,
But, like, I still, like, I've reached out to you on multiple occasions about things, like, little ways back, and I still read it. And I never got, obviously.
Well, Jordan Peterson is not, that book is not, that's a way for anybody to live.
Right.
It's not directed at, and that's why I like to give that to people.
Right.
I like to recommend that book to people because it's a way of life, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I shouldn't say I wish, but, like, I am jealous of people that can have a beer. And sometimes I think I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
I never will because I know that I am an extremist. Everything I do in...
Yeah, I can tell with your whole setup here.
Bro, I can't not do things to an extreme. That's
right.
the ADHD, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You have no idea. That's why I can't do the podcast. That's why it takes me so long, because I'll record 30 fucking videos. I said the wrong word.
Yeah.
And then I give it to my wife, and my wife says, no, it's fine. And then I post it. I'm like, I fucking don't like that light.
Yeah.
And I'm just I need things to be perfect for some reason. Or I do things in extreme, like drink, or it doesn't matter what I do, bro. If I get into something, that is my thing.
Yeah.
And I do it constantly, and I never stop.
When did you realize, I don't know if you talk about, I don't know if you ever spoke about your struggle with addiction, but when did you realize, like, fuck, I got to change something?
So, when my wife got pregnant
with
Liam.
Okay.
Yeah, Liam. I started to see that I was a terrible person. That's when I started to realize I was a monster. And that's when I accepted that I was a monster. And I guess, bro, I can tell you, the first time I said I was going to get sober, I wasn't even that drunk. I didn't do anything stupid. I was sitting out front of her house. We were drinking Twisted Teas. And
Northeast Philly, dog.
Yeah. It was right in, so we were at, over in Comley.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just sitting there drinking Twisted Teas, dude. I probably had one or two, and I just looked at her, and I'm like, I'm going to go to A. I need to stop. She's like, what? I said, yeah, I'm done.
Oh, so she never told you, like...
Oh, she has a lot, dude, yeah. So she has a history. Her family has a history of addicts. Like, I think her one uncle has, like, a group home in Delaware for addicts.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, he's really big into AA and things like that. She's always said it, but she's never aggressively pushed it.
Okay.
Because she understands that it has to be my decision, not anybody else's. Like, she knew that. So it was at that time I was like, you know what? I need help. I was like, I'm going to call my buddy, call him Fat Dan. So I'm going to call Fat Dan. No fucking clue where this thought came from, bro. It just came. So I called him, and I texted my brother. He was dating his stepsister at the time, and he got me his number. Texted him, said, I'll pick you up in the morning. He picked me up in the morning. I went to my first meeting. I stayed sober for like 2 months. Felt like I was on top of the fucking world, dude. I saved like all my money. That's when I asked my wife to marry me. That day that I got engaged, I started drinking again, thinking I was cured. Right? So I was like, I can drink a couple. Started drinking again, and then it took me another 6 months. And I went down this spiral that was worse than the one before in almost right away. So I got back in to AA. And my whole battle was with God, the whole God thing. Mm-hmm. So that was my biggest thing, dude. And then I just looked back and I'm like, why did I think that thought to call Dan? Where did it come from? Right? And that's where I got kind of, I accepted the God part of it. I never really got to like a specific religion. Like, I can't say I'm Catholic, but I can't say that that's like where I believe. I just believe in a higher power. Like, there's something
right, like how
bigger than us. Right, there's something bigger than us, and I accepted that. And it was at that moment, dude, that I was like, I don't know. I just stayed with I didn't go to meetings for very long, but I went to them excessively.
Mm-hmm.
I did. That's what I did, dude.
Yeah.
I would go to a meeting at after work at like 5:00. And then Life or Death has meetings till like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'd be there from 5 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the morning, just meeting after meeting, and just doing it excessively, like I drank, and it wouldn't stop. I would just keep going. She's like, and it got to a point where I had no balance. No balance. So it was still affecting my life at home, but she knew that that's what I needed at the time. And then I realized that all these people that go to AA, and I respect the AA, they saved my life. Mm-hmm. But they live there. I was like, I need more than that. I didn't get sober
to stay.
To be here.
Right.
Right? I need it more. And I think it is some people's purpose to be there. Like people like me in that day one, I needed those people there. Mm-hmm. And that might be those people's purpose. But some of the people in there live to just be sober. I need it more.
Yeah.
Like I got sober to have more, to be with my family more.
Right.
And that's when I don't know, dude. It just took off, and now it's 5 years later, and it feels like yesterday.
Can you? Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, cause my brother, Tommy, he had his struggles, and he always talks about how easy it would be just to go right back, and how hard it was to get sober.
Yeah, bro.
And he's like, you know how easy it is just to go back. Mm-hmm. He's like, cause he has surgeries and stuff like that, and they prescribe all these things, and Tommy has, like you, the best wife in the fucking world, dude. And when he went through his struggle, she just never left his side, dude. Just like always there. And dude, we're all big tough guys, dude, until we're down and down and down.
My wife is the strongest person I know.
That's what I'm saying. And dude, she's probably a huge reason why.
She is the reason I'm still here today, dude, and not dead somewhere. Mm-hmm. Seriously, I've tried killing myself twice.
Right.
I've tried killing myself 2 times, and I don't regret it at all, because I think you need to destroy yourself completely in order to become what you need to become.
Yeah.
You need to unlearn what you've learned and redo everything.
Right.
And it's the hardest fucking thing in the world. You have to lose everything. Yeah. Literally everything. All your friends. Gone. Right? Like I still talk to some of my friends, but for the most part, dude, I didn't see them for like 2 years. I didn't talk to them for 2 years.
Right.
Before I was able to start interacting with them again, because I needed that life just wasn't there, and it just like that I could start again. And mine wasn't drugs,
right?
Like mine was strictly alcohol, and at late night pick up some uppers, to keep going.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I wasn't addicted to that stuff.
Right.
I wasn't addicted to drugs or anything. It was all alcohol.
Yeah.
It just buried my demons, and it let me become this unstoppable force,
right?
Until I couldn't take it anymore.
It's crazy, dude.
It is crazy. Mm-hmm. It is crazy, but that's where it comes into. People don't think they have the capability of being evil, and I became a complete fucking monster, and with no care. Everything was fucking your fault.
Yep.
Nothing was my fault.
What do you mean I have a problem? What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Why are you being? That's it.
Right.
I don't have a problem. You have a fucking problem. Right?
You have a problem with me, apparently. Yeah, right, exactly.
Now I need a drink.
Yeah, because I'm angry now.
Pissing me off. Yeah. I need a drink.
I need to go drink another beer.
Yeah, it's a nice day out. I need a drink.
Yeah.
I just got a promotion. I need a drink.
Just
I got fired. I need a drink.
Yep.
Everything was a reason to drink.
Yeah.
Where I envy... That's like one of the things that I wish I was able to do is socially drink. But, dude, if I picked up a beer... I know where I'm going.
Yep.
I know. Like, my wife drinks.
Yeah.
I have no problem with it.
Right.
I have a lot of friends that drink and family. They all drink. Does not bother me anymore.
That's awesome.
At all. And I don't push sobriety on people.
Right. I know.
I will never...
I've reached out to you personally.
Yeah, and I will just give you information. It's up to you.
Right.
If that's what you need in life or what you want in life, you'll do it.
Yeah, because I went through a time where I was just like I just thought like, I was doing it too much, and I reached out to you because of your story and things like that, and I literally was like, dude, 2 months, 3 months, I just didn't do it, and then I realized like, all right, so every time I drink, I don't have to get fucking hammered, because that's what I was doing, I couldn't just do that, like I couldn't just do 3 beers and then say it.
Yeah,
right?
It's impossible for me.
Right? So, like, I feel sometimes I struggle, too, still, to this day, sometimes. But it's not as near... Like, I literally was coming home from work every night. Like, I usually get home around 9 o'clock. I'd have, like, a 6-pack. Like, for what? I got to be up at the next day at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, all right, UFC's on. I have a couple beers, you know. And obviously every once in a while I still get drunk, but like I learned a way, and not everyone was like this. Like yourself, like you could never just like cope with it. You couldn't have these three and just stop.
It's not that I couldn't. I don't even want to test it.
Right, exactly. Because you know where you've been.
I know where I could end up.
Yeah, exactly. So
if I tested that theory, it could end very bad.
Right. So I learned to just not have to get so fucked up. Maybe
control it.
Right. And then that's
some people can, dude.
Right.
I know a lot of people that have been sober for years and were criticized if they picked up a drink by the people that are in AA and things and are still fine years later.
Right.
Even though they drink beer again. Like, they can do it.
Right.
I just personally know,
you
know what? It's not worth testing out this theory.
Right. There's no reason for it.
It's not worth it.
You've been happy for the past 5 years.
I wouldn't say I've been happy for 5 years, but I've got to experience happiness, right? That's the difference, bro. Is people think there's this ultimate happy.
Right.
I am not happy 24/7.
Yeah.
I am rarely happy, but I get to experience happiness sometimes.
Right.
And I can't say that about my past.
With your kids and everything like that, dude. You got a bigger reason to live.
I do.
You know?
I do. I think we always have. It's just finding that purpose.
Yes.
And if you can find your purpose and put me and find your meaning and your purpose, and then pursue that. And through that pursuit, you're going to experience pain, suffering, but along with that, you get to experience happiness.
Yeah.
You don't get to have complete happiness.
But nobody does.
Nobody does. That's why they call it the pursuit of happiness.
Yep.
You get to pursue it, you get to experience it, and then you get to suffer.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of happiness again.
Right.
Right? And
that's what life's about, though.
That's it, dude.
Right?
That's what I think it's about.
I mean, I agree with you 100% because you have to, if you don't have, you can't name one person that never had a bad day, right? There's more bad days than good days in your life.
Can't tell on Facebook.
You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, exactly. So the more experiences you have in life, the more you're like, oh my God, dude, I'm at fucking my rock bottom. Like you've probably experienced on multiple occasions, I could say.
I went into rock bottom a lot.
Yeah, so
it's fun down there.
But like rock bottom isn't all about being a drug addict or an alcoholic.
It could just be with it.
Right. Rock bottom can be you're sick and tired of this fucking job and you're finally doing something about it.
That's it.
It could be anything, right? So everyone in this world that thinks rock bottom thinks it is just about like drug abuse or alcoholism is so wrong.
It is, dude.
You know what I mean? It's so wrong.
I don't even, there is no difference between an alcoholic and a drug addict.
No.
There's no difference between a drug addict and a shopaholic.
Mm-hmm.
And people are looking at you like, what the hell are you talking about? No, I'm serious, because the only difference is the medicine you're using to suppress your suffering.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
So I'm in pain. I hate my life. I hate who I am. So I'm going to drown that shit in heroin. I'm going to drown it in beer, vodka, Amazon shopping. Something is going to hide that.
Right.
And it's going to distract me from what I really want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just being what you want to be.
Right.
Being what you want to be is hard.
Yeah. That might be the hardest thing anybody does in their life, is doing what they want to do.
What they truly believe in.
Right.
And not trying to please everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Right? My wife told me this quote. I forget. Mark Twain, maybe? It's, you're not who you think you are. You're not what they think you are. You are what you think they think you are.
Yeah, right.
I was like, damn.
That's fucking mind-boggling, dude.
It's mind-boggling, but it's true.
It's so true.
You are what you think they think you are.
Yep, because you want to be what everyone else thinks.
And it's like,
yep.
Damn. And then you look at Facebook and stuff, dude, and you're like, my buddy Helwig said this to me the other day. He's like, dude, stop posting things with your kids. My Mandy wants to have kids. He's like, can you please put the bad times up? Like, show her.
Right.
And I was like, dude, I'd be on Facebook all day if I put the bad times up.
You know who you need to have a conversation with?
Who?
Gary V.
I wish.
You know Gary V?
Yeah. I love Gary.
Yeah.
Here's my thing with Gary V.
Do you think some of his shit, like, do you think he really believes that? Like some of the stuff he says?
I do. I think he does. His energy is insane.
His energy is almost like it's like it attracts you to him. Like
it is. That's what it is. It's the energy that comes off of it.
Right. I love his videos, amazing. Dude.
Yeah, I watched a lot of him. I found myself watching too much of a lot of podcasts. Dude, I've been wanting to do this podcast for like ever. Mm-hmm. And I could never get myself to do it. Because I kept listening to these things and I'm like, oh, why am I still listening to this shit I know?
Yeah.
Right? Like, this is what I want to do, and I'm still just, instead of doing it, I'm listening to it and dreaming about it. That's where I got the mindset of, like, putting things into action. Mm-hmm. Like, you need to do it. You can't just sit there and think about things, and they happen. Like The Secret. Ever hear The Secret?
Nah.
The book? Mm-mm. It's The Secret's about, like, basically thinking about things and you get it. Mm-hmm. Right? And it's like, that's not fucking true. I can have a paintbrush and a paint bucket and look at the wall. It's not going to fucking paint.
Right.
But if I think about it and I fucking put some action into it, that wall will be painted.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to do that part.
Right.
They want to do everything they deserve, I deserve without doing anything. And that's what I was doing. I was listening. I was like, I can do this. Same thing with banking, dude. Like, I got fired from my last job because of what I was doing or what I wouldn't do. Like, I would not. When it comes to sales, I will not give somebody a credit card that asks for a credit card without making sure first that that's why they need a credit card. Mm-hmm. Like, that, make sure they understand it. Some people won't have that conversation, and that's on them. But morally, I know that I tried.
Yeah.
Right? Where they were pushing credit cards during the pandemic at the teller line. And I said, that's not right. You're asking a teller. It could be an 18-year-old kid. It could be a 50-year-old woman. But what they do is important. But they are not able to morally know if that credit card's right for that person.
Right.
They give out cash. They count cash. And then you're telling them to sell credit card at the teller line. You are not financial wellness. That is not financial wellness that you're preaching. It's financial illness.
Yeah.
Right? That's all you're doing. You're lying. And I would speak up about it. There was a call with a CEO. And they started paying. The CEO made a decision to pay you more if you refer to a black person. So you get paid, if you refer to a black person for employment, they would give you $1,000 if they were hired. If they were white, $500. And I said, that
sounds pretty racist.
Is racist. I said, and I got on the call and I said, I don't think that that's diversity. I mean, I don't think that that's equality.
Right.
And I said, can you explain how that is equality? Because it doesn't sound like equality. Equality is everybody gets $1,000.
Right.
I said, if you want a diverse company should be by personality, not color.
Right.
If you want a diverse group of people, it's a different personality groups. And that's what creates diversity. Not a colorful building.
Right.
Where you have different genders and colorful people of all colors in a room. And it's like, this is so diverse. No, they all could think the fucking same. And guess what? If they all think the same, you ain't going nowhere.
Right.
Different thoughts and different opinions is what leads to fucking... That is where innovation starts.
Yes.
If me and you think the same and we're the only two together and we have the same thoughts, guess what? We're not going nowhere.
Nope.
Because you're never going to make me think, and I'm not going to make you think, because we're just going to sit there and nod our head together and be like, yep.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, let's do this. Yep,
That's
I agree with you.
So where's the innovation?
Right.
No.
And that's the problem with a lot of businesses. A lot of even car dealerships. You have people that have worked under this person and then got promoted to do the job she was just working or he was just working under that said person, and they're going to run the company the same way, but that company was never really successful. So you're putting that person that was already working on under a person that was not successful in their business, you promoted that person to run a whole nother dealership and you expect it to be successful.
Right. Hell.
Right. So I just want to know, like, what's going to be different? So that's why you need, in the hiring process nationwide is absolutely horrendous. In my opinion, right? You're hiring based on, hey, I went to Penn State University and I got my master's degree in communications. Oh, you went to Penn State? You're hired.
Yep.
Hey, next interview is, hey, I went to Montgomery County Community College. I have my associates, and I'm in the process of doing online school to get my bachelor's degree in communications. You're not ready for it this time. Why? Why isn't that person ready?
Right.
Because of a piece of paper that says, oh, they did this amount of hours and spent this amount of money?
Because you know what you don't know what Penn State wanted you to know.
Right.
That's my whole thing, bro. Experience will teach you more than anything.
That's exactly why I'm good at what I do.
Experience.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got fired at Fulton, I'll tell you where this took off, right? I'm somebody that my way of sales, again, is to get to know Nick.
Mm-hmm.
So if you come into my office, I'm not looking at your financials to figure out who Nick is. What do you value? Right?
Yeah.
So what do you value? And I'm going to take what you value and teach you how to use money as a tool to meet those values.
Mm-hmm.
The people have different values. In the banking industry, what they teach is this loan fits this need. And it's like, no, that's not true. If you were in the same exact situation as me, we would need two different solutions to fix that problem.
Right.
Because we value different things. We're on a different path in life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you need to figure out. Where does that lie?
Right.
And that's how I did business. I was very good at it, so no one questioned it. But when you go to teach other people it and try to get other people to do it, and the bank's like, well, why are you teaching that? That's not what we're teaching. And I said, well, I'm not teaching them to sell a credit card to a kid without explaining how to use a credit, like how to use that credit card as a tool instead of free money.
Right.
You just gave an 18-year-old kid a credit card and said, good luck. That's not cool. That is not financial wellness.
Right.
Financial wellness is first getting to know the kid and then saying, look, this credit card builds credit. How do you build credit? How do you do all these other things in life? Teach them this thing.
Right.
Show them. That's it. It's going to take an hour more of your time. But guess where that kid's going to come next time he needs financial advice?
Yeah.
To you.
Right.
He trusts you.
It's good for
you
business.
You didn't give him a credit card and say, on your way. And now the kid's afraid to come to the bank because it's maxed out and he can't pay it. Because that's what would happen.
Yep.
You give people loans, they max it, and they're like, oh my God, how'd this happen? And then people get embarrassed. They don't want to talk about that stuff. I know because it was me.
Right.
I sucked with money.
Yeah.
Until I got into the industry and learned about money and started to look at money as a tool rather than a goal.
Right.
I changed it all up. I switched it. And, dude, I just... So when I got fired, dude, the conversation that led me down a path of fuck this was my dad was really sick for a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
I was constantly not at work here.
Right.
Mentally, I was not at work. And when I was to take my dad to doctor's appointments, I would take my dad to doctor's appointments. And my coaching session, my manager comes in, he sits down and says, you have a responsibility to be here. And I said, I have a responsibility to take care of my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, we pay you we pay you a salary. So you have a responsibility to be here. And I said, that's where me and you are different. I said, because I accept your salary. You don't have to give it to me. And
Right.
You're not going to scare me with money. So you can fire me right now if you want.
Yeah.
But I am not here because you're giving me a salary. I'm here because I want to be here, and I'm accepting your salary in return. And don't think you're scaring me with money or firing me, because that's why all these people are still in this building,
Mm-hmm.
because of fear of losing their paycheck, because you preach financial wellness, but you don't even teach your employees how to use the money that you're paying them.
Right.
And you're putting fear in them
Mm-hmm.
that if you don't show up or do what we want you to do, you can't feed your family.
Right.
And that's fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And I, about a month. So then I went on, then I had the baby. My Malcolm was born. A month later, they got COVID in my office. So only 3 people came back to the office. And for 2 days, and then everybody else came back that next day. Those 2 days, I didn't hear anything. The next day, I got another write-up about how my last month has been. That I haven't met criteria. I was on leave. I was on a paternity leave. I wasn't even in the building.
Right, yeah.
And I said, this is wrong on every level. And then they fired me like a week later. And he was definitely caught by regard. I said, thank you, and left. And I said, and it was that moment, I'm like, I'm starting my own business.
So, yeah, I wanted you to actually get into that.
Yeah.
So what are you doing?
So it's financial coaching, right? So when you look at the financial world, dude, you have 2 different areas of people that have, you have really one area to go. A financial advisor, if you have money, but you need money.
Mm-hmm.
Or financial advisors do not want to waste their time because they make money off of your money.
Right.
So if you don't have it, they don't have the time.
Mm-hmm.
Banks more cater to the people that they say they go to everybody underneath of that. That's what banks do. But they don't. They don't teach them how to invest. They don't teach them the basics of money, how to use debt, what a 401k is, and things like that. And there's nowhere for those people to go. So what my objective with this business is to take that person and give them all the tools that they need to be able to do everything on their own.
Are you up and running?
Not yet. Just about. I would say this is my issue, is I don't have this space done yet.
Mm-hmm.
I do have like 2 people that I'm working with right now, but
So you're going to do it out of here?
I'm doing it out of here.
Very nice.
Mostly everything's going to be on a computer.
Virtual?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's really no reason. Sometimes I'll go out, whatever, but I don't really need an office.
Right.
And the main reason for that is I don't just take anybody either. Right? I'm not going to just accept everybody to be one of my clients because it takes accountability. So I need that person to be able to take accountability for putting the process that we're doing in place.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be more of like, here, we're going to sit down, I'm going to get to know Nick. All right, now I know Nick, we're going to go through all your financials. After we have all your financials, we're going to put all these budgets in place. We're going to do all of this. Now, I'm not doing it for you. All right, I'm giving you the tools to be able to do it on your own from here on out for the rest of your life. So you don't have to pay somebody your whole life to do things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then following up with you on basically a weekly basis. Hey, where are you with this? Why haven't you done this? Have you done this? And holding you accountable for putting these things in place. So I can't meet people every day. I can't go out and meet you once a week for 20 minutes to make sure, but we can set up a phone call. You know what I mean? So there's really no reason to have this big office to do that. And it's going to be monthly. The cost, I haven't really got there yet, but it's going to be a monthly thing, and it's on your terms. Right? So let's say it takes you a month and you feel confident enough in that month that you learned enough, then that's all you got to do. Where some people might want 6 months. So it's going to be a monthly thing, but at the end of it, the goal is that you understand, and it's not to invest your money. It's not to do any of that. But you're going to know how to invest, or what that means.
Right.
What a mutual fund is. What an annuity is. Crypto, I don't think anybody really knows what that is.
Yeah.
Right? But you're going to understand the basics of your 401k. What is that? People don't know that.
Right.
Like Biden, when he says that he's only going to tax the rich. What does that mean? Well, your 401k is part of the things that the rich are involved in. And guess what? It's coming out of there, and you just don't know it. People don't realize that because it's not coming out of their paycheck, or it's not when they buy things. They don't realize that there's what the tax is coming out of that. So the business is really to teach people, make them rethink what money is.
Yeah.
And I'll be up and running hopefully in a week or so.
That's awesome.
My site's almost done.
Yeah.
It's scary as shit though, dude.
Yeah, I bet.
scary.
No matter what kind of business you're starting, it's always like a little terrifying.
It is.
You know?
It's very scary.
Because you never know, dude. It's a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, I think it's even less than that.
Right? Yeah, probably. You know?
It's because you have a lot of hats
that you have to wear, yes.
You have a lot of hats. You have marketing. You have to actually do it. Then you have to keep up with it. You have the numbers. When you have big companies and you get to that point, you hire people to do all those things. But I don't have capital to just hire people to do all those things. I have to do it.
Yeah.
And it's like...
But you have the right mentality to be successful. Because you're, like you said, extremist. And when you set your mind to something, you're fucking doing it.
I'm doing it.
So...
I'm doing it.
That's what that's the biggest thing in order to do anything in life and want to be successful.
Yeah.
Just want it. That's it.
And what do you do? Those things, bro, I really think that the value, it's like, what do you value and why am I doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Do you truly value what you're doing? I want to help people.
Yep.
I do. And why do I want to help people? Because I was a fucking monster.
Mm-hmm.
People don't know that about me, dude.
Right.
If people that met me now are like, dude, you have a good life. And it's like, bro, I wouldn't call it a good life. I get to experience happiness.
Yeah.
But like, you don't know what the hell I did. My pace, I was a monster.
Mm-hmm.
How many people are willing to admit that they were a monster?
Yeah.
I learned how to control that monster. And now that monster comes out when that monster needs to come out. And it needs to come out sometimes. People need to hear what I think that they need to hear, whether you like it or not.
Right.
Because I have a moral and objective, a moral basis of where my beliefs, right? I found these things that I believe in that are hypocritical, which is fucking insane to me today.
Yeah.
All these hypocritical thoughts. And I've questioned them. And my mind still, again, I'm always progressing. I'm always learning things that I thought I believed in that I don't believe in anymore.
Right.
And as long as I keep on that path, because I questioned the coaching thing for a long time, bro. I'm like, how am I a financial coach and I'm going to take money from people? Like, I'm charging them money. People that, usually the people that I really want to help don't have the money. So I'm like, how am I charging these people?
But you think about it like this: you're going to teach them about investments. You're going to do this. You're an investment. That's literally what you are.
And I'm an investment in you.
Yes, exactly. So if they're not successful, you have to change something, and
Correct.
You'll know that. You'll know it right away.
Correct.
So, as diehard about this as you are, they have to be just as diehard on their end too.
And that's where I say I'm not accepting everybody.
Right.
I'm not a quick fix.
Mm-mm.
There's no quick fixes in this world.
Right.
You ain't coming to me and becoming a millionaire. That's not what I'm going to do.
Right.
I'm like a financial life coach is what I like to think about it, because I think money's a tool in your life, and that's why I'm focused more on the money part, because that's the part that I am more have an expertise in, is the money side of it. But I'm really just putting the money into your values and saying, how do we use this money so that you get to experience happiness and not have to worry about money so much.
Right. And then, like you just said, like, people came up to you and like, oh, dude, you look like you're, sober and all this stuff, and you're great, you're living your best life, you're happy, and like, you're honest, you're just like, well, I get to experience happiness now, it's great.
I was blind to that, thinking that, and I realized it because I went through TrueMark, loved TrueMark, went to Key Bank, I loved what they were doing, went to the Fulton, and I was like, all right, that's where I was like, you're all telling me the same thing.
Right.
All of yous.
Mm-hmm.
How did I fall in love with it? Because you guys have literally brainwashed me to believe that what we're doing is financial wellness. And it's not. It's not financial wellness. You are doing nothing. Key Bank I would say Key Bank probably has the best setup right now, that out of all of them, that can be used to provide this wellness. Right now, digitally, they have this review that they use that is absolutely amazing. And it's just teaching the people, and again, it's experience, because you have to be able to be in a lot of different shoes. So you've had to have sat with a lot of customers and seen crazy amount of scenarios and then put solution to those scenarios and that person and all of that to be able to get to that level where I feel like I am, and I still see different scenarios. And you can't just come in and know that stuff because you only have your experience. You don't. But when you're in sales, you hear experiences like you wouldn't imagine.
Right.
People have lived these crazy lives, and you get to experience that with them. And then throughout that, you get to fit different solutions with those people, and then it becomes almost where you don't have to think about it. It's just like, I know what's fitting for this person because of thousands of different reasons.
You know,
but banks never want to teach that stuff, man, because everybody's replaceable, and they don't want to keep that one person.
Yeah, they don't care about you.
And put the time and effort into you, because guess what? You're replaceable.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right.
And they don't care, but they tell you they care. Mm-hmm. We do all this for our employees, and it's like, no, because I fired today, tomorrow you have a new me in there.
Yep. And
you're going to tell them the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't care.
Right. No company. I know, like, there's good companies out there, but
there's good people.
There's good people
in companies.
Yes. Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Right. They I was just getting ready to say I just fucking skipped my mind. But when companies always say like, "Oh, we value you. We value our employees and things like that," I don't really think that's true. You know, they value the fact that you actually accepted the job and you're willing to do it, and they'll never ever pay someone what they're worth. Like, everyone in the world thinks they're undervalued, right? Everyone. I have to. Me personally, I get my salary, which is, if I were to tell you, you'd fucking laugh, right? If I told you what I did every single day, you would just laugh at what they pay me, my salary, right? And then I'm over here like trash my comment, but whatever. I don't really care.
I won't put it up if you don't want.
No, I don't really care. And then
I won't put this part up.
So it's like,
I don't need you to get fired. You gave her a shout out.
No, not her. No, this is bigger than her.
I know. I'm just saying, right? you give your direct. That's why I said there's really good people
right
in the companies, and I feel like that company has almost brainwashed those people to think that the company fits their values.
Yeah. So listen, I can work at any car dealership in the world and know what I'm doing. Right? Any of them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The only thing I would have to learn is what comes in these different cars, right? So if I went to a Ford dealership, I wouldn't know these cars. Right? But I know how to sell a car. I know how to write numbers up. I know how to put an interest rate in there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even run your credit yet, but I'm going to show you this interest rate.
Yep.
Yeah, you'll qualify for it. How the fuck do I know?
Yep.
Right? And so I think the most fucked up thing about some dealerships, is that they'll give John Doe over here, who's a 434 credit score, who has never paid anything great, who doesn't know any better,
a 37%.
Here you go. Here's a car for you. You're paying 21% interest rate, and you got to do it bi-weekly. You're paying $440 bi-weekly.
Because you go by payment.
For 72 months. Right? Why can't somebody just go over to him and say, listen, we're not giving you a car, but guess what? This is what you have to do. Come back in a month. Come back in 2 months. After you're done doing this, and I guarantee you'll get approved on a car.
Hey, why can't you?
Right.
Why? Because they don't care. They don't care. I started, and here's the thing, dude. Like, I am guilty of and that's the reason with the companies, right? I had goals. I have to hit these goals. So I am guilty of doing things that I didn't morally believe in at that time.
Yeah. I'm right there with you.
I've done it and it hurt, right? And then I had to live with it, and it creates something I'm not until it becomes instinctual, and I'm doing it, start doing it consistently till it feels normal.
Yep.
That wasn't who I was. And I stopped doing it, and the company didn't like it. They did not like it. Like, they had these things called they're like at-work programs, where the banks have a relationship with companies. So, like, let's say my bank had a relationship with Sussman.
Mm-hmm.
I would come out to Sussman and do a financial wellness presentation for all your employees, and we would talk about financial wellness. And the way banks sell it to the Sussman would be, it's free. It's a free service. It costs you nothing. But in return, your employees get all these great benefits. Somebody's paying for it, or the banks won't invest their time in it. Who's paying for it if the company's not? All your fucking employees are paying for it. How? Because if I do one of those presentations, my objective is not to make your life easier. It's I need to get this many checking accounts, this many of this after the presentation. And it's like, well, I had these people come to me and I helped them build credit. I showed them these things, 7 people out of the meeting. Why is that a bad thing? Right. Because I didn't open them a checking account? Because I didn't give them a credit card or have them apply for a credit card that I knew they wouldn't be approved for?
Right.
Just to pull their credit one more time?
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That is very wrong. Why wouldn't the company, if they cared about their employees, want to pay for a service like that? So why don't they pay for that service to give it to the employees for
Open
free?
up this free checking account.
Well, the company,
we got you.
Let's say the bank said, if the bank wanted to do it and cared about financial wellness, in my opinion, it would charge the company and say, pay us this, and then we'll give your employees this. Mm-hmm. And that's how you should make your money. If the company cared about their employees.
Right.
But they don't. So they're like, I'll offer this free service, and then the bank comes in, but the bank needs to make money. So who are they making the money off of? Your employees. If they're not making it off you, they're making it off your employees. Mm-hmm. So my goal for this business that I'm creating, that's that final step, is I'm going to go into businesses and do that. I'm going to have the business owner pay for their employees to have this benefit, that they can come to me with this for all their financial, just to have a financial coach on their side 24/7.
Right.
And the business would pay for it. Because if I guarantee at your dealership, if all your employees were financially stable and happy financially, that company would be, it would take off. You guys would take off. They would have way less bad days if they were financially stable.
Yeah.
All your employees.
Right.
Employees don't like talking about that with other employees.
Yeah.
And the job I left, bro, I was making $90,000 a year salary. Mm-hmm. Lost it all.
Yeah.
For this.
Yep.
And it's fucking scary because I never thought I'd make $90,000.
Yeah.
I'm a high school dropout, bro.
Right.
High school dropout.
Yep.
Making that kind of money, and I'm like, morally, I just don't.
How was that conversation with your family?
My wife's always on my side, dude. She believed in it.
Right.
She knew, dude. I come home, I would just be.
You're gonna hire her?
Angry.
She be your bookkeeper.
My wife. Oh, dude, my wife is the business.
I was gonna say,
dude. Yeah, I can't give her enough credit, dude. And the things that I've done with, like, how she's even still with me, and then the effort she puts into me, it's like, it's I couldn't even give her anything in return that would equate to that.
Right. My wife is my my accountant, and I had a really bad spending money issue, really bad, and she just flat out said, "Nick, I'm taking over everything." Not so much like I'm a bitch and I had to like ask for money, right? It's not like that at all.
But close to it.
Very close to it. But I'm not afraid to admit it.
But I think a lot of things, in a relationship, bro, I don't think that order is good. Like some type of order when it comes to money.
Absolutely. Because if it was up to me, we wouldn't have what we have in our savings account.
Right.
Or like checking account or anything. Yeah, listen, we're both very successful people, right? She does her thing, I do mine. But if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't look like successful people. Well, I wouldn't look like a successful person, because I make this money, but then I would just be like, oh, I have to go to the Sixers game tonight, and I need to sit in the first row.
Yeah,
I have to.
Right.
Because what's the point of watching it up top? I can just watch it from home. Well, Nick, what the fuck's the point of sitting in the front row? You can just sit on your fucking couch on the TV and watch that.
Think about it tomorrow.
Yep.
Impulsive.
Dude, very impulsive. Mm-hmm. Extremely impulsive.
It's called instant gratification. I know that you're very similar to me with that, because I have this tendency to need that instant gratification. Mm-hmm. Right? Dude, I'll tell you this, dude. Cryptocurrency has changed my life in so many ways because it's so similar to sports betting, except you don't lose your money as fast.
Right. Are you in that?
Crypto?
Doge Coin?
Yeah, bro.
When did you buy it?
All of it. 5 cents.
Did you?
Yeah. And I'm bitching because my wife's like, sell when I got to 45. I'm like, no. I still have
it. Is it back?
It's at like 30
okay.
still. But I mean, I don't know. I haven't checked in a while, but dude, I can't sleep.
So wait, so for someone who doesn't understand this at all,
crypto,
right? You bought in at 5 cents. So was it 5 cents a share?
So they're coins.
Right. So how many?
Different than shares.
I don't want to know how many coins you have or anything like that.
I'll tell you, dude.
All right.
So this is everything that I.
What made you buy Dogecoin at 5 cents a share? Were you like, fuck, it's cheap, and that's it, or did you actually do research?
I did research, and I got an invite from somebody to listen to this Elon Musk video, and I bought it. I bought it a little bit before this. I bought a little bit of it, and Elon Musk said that he called it the currency of the world, and I was like, and he laughed. Yeah, and he laughed, right, and I laughed, and he said, but like. So then I questioned money. And I'm like, all right, what is money? If everybody in the world decided one day that paper money we have is no longer valuable, does it have any value? It doesn't, right? Mm-hmm. We just have accepted for how long that money's money. That's what we accept. That's right. It. Like, if you look at money from the past, bro, people used to barter. Like, that was how you got things. So, like, but bartering only works like bartering's hard. If I'm a chair maker and I make chairs, and you build houses, how many chairs do I have to give you to build my house? Doesn't work that way, right? So then you create something that can be exchanged in a way to give things, and that's how gold became a gold standard. And it's like right now, bro, in the way that we're going, that's where cryptocurrency is trying to take over what we see as fiat money. Mm-hmm. They're trying to say, so if every single person in the world said Dogecoin is now what I'm going to use, you have to accept that.
So what would my cash become?
That's the thing, dude. You can right now, right? You still exchange it back to cash, to the U.S. dollar.
Right. So the U.S. dollar probably won't ever go anywhere.
You would hope.
Right. I would fucking sure hope so.
Right. You would hope. That would be the goal.
Let me answer this real fast.
Yeah, go ahead.
Phone's probably gonna die. Yo. Hello? Phone died. It's alright.
Good timing.
She'll get over it.
So yeah, you would right now the U.S. dollar, in my opinion, that's why crypto was created, to destroy it. The U.S. dollar. Okay. That's what I think. Is it possible? Anything's possible. Right. Is it going to happen? I don't know.
Probably not in our lifetime.
I would hope. China right now, is trying to become that global force, is what's happening. China created their own digital yuan, which has a gold standard. So their yuan is based off of gold, just as our dollar is gold. It's no different, which is crazy to kind of picture in your mind, right? Yeah. So, but here's the thing. So it's supply and demand. That's where Dogecoin comes in. Mm-hmm. It's supply and demand. So if the Dogecoin's there and more people want it than people are selling, the price starts to increase. So Dogecoin can go to zero in a second, but it can go to $100 in a second because there's people that there's a need for it, and the demand is higher than how much is actually out there. Right? So that's the most I can tell you about crypto. I don't understand. It's nothing. Dogecoin is absolutely nothing.
It's really like nothing.
It's nothing. It's nothing. Yeah. But so is the dollar that you have in your pocket. Right. It's nothing unless everybody accepts that it's something. Right. Does that make sense? Yeah. So right now, since Dogecoin was like, since Dogecoin is so accepted and talked about, I was like, why not just see?
So say so a coin, when you bought Dogecoin for 5 cents.
So I bought it like a few different times, right? So I bought it at like 3 cents, and then I bought it again at 7 cents, and then my cost basis ended up being like, so I have it at like 5. I have it at 0.057 is where I have it. It's almost 6 cents, right? So every time it goes up 5 cents, my money basically doubles.
Okay, so when it was at 45 cents, so say if you have 100 shares of that, really you
So right now in Dogecoin, I have 50,000 shares at that 5 cents, and it's at 32 cents. So the 50,000 shares cost me roughly $3,000. Right now, if I were to cash out, I'd be up $16,000.
Okay.
So you take that 5 cents. You just take the.
And what do they do? They literally just give you that money?
Yeah, I just sell it and then I get my money.
It's a fake thing.
Dude.
Basically, right?
Yes. So like in the stock market, you have ownership in a company. That's the difference between crypto and the business. Like you have Amazon, and you buy stock in Amazon. You're buying a piece of ownership in that company. So when you're buying that stock, you're looking at profits, you're looking at capital, you're looking at all these different aspects of the company as like how good business is, because that means more people are going to want to own it. Right?
This is fucking insane.
So when you're owning a business, you want to buy into a business that's going to make money, right? So people are more likely to buy shares of, let's say Tesla, since that's a big one. Right now Tesla is up, so people are. That's why that price is going up, because everyone's like, I believe that company is going to do good, so I want to get into it. So all the people that bought down here are like, I'm going to take my profit now and sell all of that to this guy that wants to get in, and the price keeps going up as long as there's more buyers than sellers. Mm-hmm. So as long as that keeps happening, price will rise. But you can't look into Dogecoin and say, how good is Dogecoin doing today? Like, how good is that business? Like, they have nothing to provide. They have no services to give to people.
Right.
It's just a meme coin. It's not
That's
real.
Insane, dude.
Like this other one I have is called BitTorrent. BitTorrent is
Are you in Bitcoin?
I have Bitcoin. I have a lot.
Really?
Yeah, Bitcoin.
So what's your most profitable right now?
Dogecoin.
Dogecoin's your most profitable?
Dogecoin, and then something called BitTorrent. BitTorrent is less than a penny right now. I bought it at 1/10 of a penny. It's at 7/10 of a penny.
Still to this day.
It's still under a penny.
So I should probably get in that.
I mean, it's one of those things so this is like where Dogecoin, if you bought at this point, you're like, holy shit. So every penny.
What app is that?
It's called Voyager.
My phone died, but
I'll send you a link. But this is Voyager. So when you buy something under a penny, bro, your money is doubling less than every penny movement.
Right.
So like Dogecoin, if you bought it at a penny or under a penny, every time you see it go up 1 cent, all the money you put in there is fucking doubling. Every time a penny goes up.
So if it goes to like $400, you're like fucking holy shit.
Yeah. So BitTorrent, I have 512,000 shares. 512,000 shares of BitTorrent.
And then how much does that cost in the US dollar?
So what I paid, so I made money off it because I got it at 1/10 of a penny. I put $300 in it, and that turned into $3,000 overnight.
Right.
Because I just got lucky.
Yeah.
I don't know how it happens. I just got lucky. Now it's been steady around 7 cents, and I bought another $1,000 worth now to get me to. But that $1,000 worth cost me the same much as $300 got me at the 1 penny.
Right.
Right. So like. But now every time it's going to go up. So that 512,000 coins.
That's all
you ever
right
got
there?
to $1 a share, I'd have $512,000. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Will it get to $1? I know nothing about crypto, dude. It doesn't make sense to me. But
that's all you right there. That's all your shares and everything?
Yeah. So in crypto, that's the value, and that's how much is profit. So
and it changes
I only had
by the second.
Dude, it's scary. That's what I said. This is got me off sports betting.
All the most
because it's the same thing.
So out of your pocket right now, what are you in it US dollar wise?
US
total.
So that is the total amount that's in there. But the cash
that you put in
I
there?
put in was 10,000.
10,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're technically up that amount.
I'm up 18. But I'm not until I take it out.
Right. And you're not going to take it out.
No.
Let it ride.
No. And sometimes I can't sleep. Like Bitcoin last night, dude, went from $63,000 a share to $50,000 a share overnight, just like that. Why? Only God can tell you that. I don't fucking know.
They just want people to sell.
I have two different things. I have two different theories, right? When I look at things to the fucking extreme, like I said. So on one extreme, I'm like, this is fucking China and Russia trying to take out the U.S. dollar, and it's gonna work. Or it's the U.S. government saying, fuck these people with all these money. Let's get them to put all this money in here and then regulate it. Mm-hmm. And then once they regulate it and you can't sell it, it becomes nothing. So then you have nothing. So if you look at it on two extremes, that's what just happened in Turkey. Turkey just banned, and I think that's why the Bitcoin dropped. Turkey's government banned Bitcoin from being able to be used as a currency. So Bitcoin, you can buy things. You can take Bitcoin and go to Tesla and buy a Tesla using your Bitcoin.
Right, because Elon Musk, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And Doge Coin just did that for the first time with Dallas Mavericks. Mark Cuban.
Yes.
You can use Doge Coin to buy merchandise at the Maverick Stadium. You can do that. So it's becoming something. But Turkey just banned it from that. So I think everybody that was in Bitcoin in Turkey may have pulled out their Bitcoin afraid that they might completely not let you use it. They just can't use it to buy things. But you can still buy Bitcoin and sell it later for profits, but you just can't use it for anything. So I think to get ahead of them, like, making it illegal to have, people were like, oh, fuck this, and took all their profits out. And that's why it dropped so fast.
So you're up 18 grand right now.
Hey, Brian,
and you're like this. And you're like, fuck it, I'm letting it ride.
Yeah.
So you don't see, dude, that like totally, like, you're the most honest person ever. You don't believe money is like not that important. Like, it's important obviously, but like you're like, I don't care about 18 grand right now. I don't, because I want it to be $180,000.
Yeah, it's greed. It's greed, as well as like, this is money that, like, if I lost, at this point I have a heart attack probably, because it's like I could have pulled out, right? But I think the bigger regret would be if I pulled out. If I pull out now, and then it goes up to
but you'll never
$5.
know.
So why pull out?
Right.
I took and the Doge Coin, dude. Like I took out some of the money that I put into it. So a lot of that money right now is not even. Most of the money that's in here right now, I already took my original investments back out.
Okay, so you're technically up more than 18.
Right. It just shows what it's showing that I took profits out. So you don't see the profits I took out of the account. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like I already took some of the profit.
Now, is there like a joint agreement between you and your wife? If it gets to here, you're taking it out.
Dude, she tells me to sell it every day.
So
this is why I think she does it. I'll tell you why I think she does it. She likes that I told you so.
Right.
So it's like, but that's why we work so well together. Because I am the one that's taking a risk, and she's like, well, I'm not taking a risk. I'm going to tell you to sell it. I'm going to be happy if it goes up. If it goes down, you have to take all the responsibility for it. We don't really have a mutual agreement. Though.
Okay. So
I told her I would sell a certain amount if it got to 97 cents.
Okay.
Dogecoin.
So
why?
If this was in mine, if this was in my, like, if I was in your situation right now, and let's say I was 10 grand in and it was up to 28, so that was 18 grand in profit, and I didn't take out, I'd be divorced.
Really?
Not divorced, but my wife would be fucking hounding me and going like this while I'm sleeping and cashing the fuck out, dude.
She wants to, dude. It's like, I should, but then I'd watch. Like, I don't. Here's the thing,
but dude, in an hour,
yeah, it was about an hour.
It could literally be like, gone. Or it could be fucking up.
I know.
And this is so. I honestly think this is safer than sports betting.
It is. That's what I'm saying. But it got me off sports. So
right.
That's why I said it got me off sports betting, because you don't lose it as fast. Right. Like, as long as I don't take money out, I have never lost, but I also have never won. But it's the same money being bet every day.
Every day.
It's not
You don't have
new
to worry
money
about
I have
putting
to
new
bet.
money in. Yep.
But it's a constant thing.
Yeah.
I'm constantly gambling every second of the day. This 2 hours that I just sat here talking with you, I could have lost all my money in that account.
You could be down 10 grand right now.
You know what I
but
mean?
not really down 10 grand.
But I already know
because the 10 grand's still in there.
Correct. Mm-hmm. I could be down. It could say 0 on here. I mean, everything went to 0. But if everything went under my original investment to begin with, as long as I don't take it out, I have not lost. And that's what people do in the stock market.
Right.
They see a decline and they pull out. Those are the people that will never make money because they think they lost money.
You know who's big in the stock market?
Who?
Eddie Alvarez.
Is he?
If you follow him on Twitter.
Does he give, like, predictions and stuff? Or
Kind of, sort of. But, dude, he's so knowledgeable. It's crazy. Like, I think that's what he does, like, with his life. Like, outside of fighting, it's this.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's in Doge Coin or anything like that, like cryptocurrency. But I know he's real big in the stocks, things like that. And it's like some of the stuff. I wish I could just sit down and talk with him. Eddie, come on the podcast. He doesn't.
How many times have you messaged him?
A couple. I'm not like some weird fanboy. You know what I mean? But everyone's Eddie Alvarez.
Try, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Can't be JoNick fight talk. You have to try
Right.
Eddie Alvarez.
You know, I'm trying to get all the Philly fighters on, but there's some of them out there that just, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's crazy the things that he talks about, like Ben Askren. He's real big into it, right? Like Bitcoin, Dogecoin, things like if you go on Ben Askren's Twitter, his biography, like bio right there, it just says #Bitcoin. That's it.
It's crazy.
And who knows how much money that motherfucker has into it, And dude, he's like real big into it. He's one of the smartest people. If you just like sit down and listen to him talk and things like that, he has a podcast. And he's like one of the most intelligent people ever when it comes to like these things. And I always wanted to do it, but I got to twist somebody's arm that I live with, my roommate.
Dude, let me tell you something, man. Here's the other thing. Money sitting in your savings or checking account is worthless. Why is it sitting there? What's it doing for you? Money, that's the difference between being rich and being poor. How are you using your money to make more money? How are you doing it?
Mm-hmm.
You could right now. So on my app, bro, it pays. There's no stocks out there that you can really do this, but Bitcoin you can. So in Bitcoin, it pays me. Is Bitcoin 8%? It's like 8% in interest.
So that's what my one savings account does. Not 8%.
No, it's less. It's gotta be right now.
Way
Saving
less.
rates are like nothing.
It's like 1.5% or something like that.
And you'd be lucky to get that.
Yeah.
But what's 1.5%?
Right. It's only like $4 a month.
It's nothing.
That it's like giving me.
It's nothing.
Right.
You could literally take out a mortgage right now at 2%. If let's say you had your house paid off. Mm-hmm. This is how rich get rich. They use loans to make more money. You could take out all that money on your house and invest it and pay 2% and put it in something that pays 6%. So now you're making 6% off of. You're still making your mortgage payment, but you're only giving the bank 2%, where you're making all that money. You're making 6%, right? Or you're making 8%, so 6% profit. Nobody sees loans that way.
Mm-hmm.
But you do that.
Right.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
Right now's the time to do that. Because interest rates on loans are so low. And deposits are up. Or deposits are low.
Yeah.
Investments are fucking booming. But it's going to... At some point, it's got to come down.
Right.
But it's all risk, bro.
It's insane, dude.
It is. It is. I don't know how people know stocks. Like, no one knows stocks, right? You can know how to read it and predict, but you never know.
Right.
God forbid Tesla has something discriminatory come out, or a sexual allegation. Anybody that said Tesla's going to $1 million is now at zero, because people don't like that and they pull their money out of things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Nobody knows. Anything could happen any day.
Dude, it's absolutely insane.
But if the economy crashes, the money in your savings account is also worthless too.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, because you're not going to spend it.
Not even that you spend it, dude. Like, if the economy crashes, we're in trouble.
Right.
We're in trouble. The U.S. dollar is going to be in trouble.
All right. Well, Tor, We got to do some shit, dude.
I would honestly just recommend watching podcasts, bro.
Yeah.
That's it. If you want to learn how to do this stuff, crypto you'll never understand, dude, but I would highly, highly recommend getting yourself into something that's an investment.
Mm-hmm.
Your 401k is invested in stocks right now.
Yeah.
You have a 401k?
Yep.
It's in stocks.
Mm-hmm.
So why isn't it the rest of your money?
Right. Yeah, like, I forget how much it is, but it just all goes right to there.
Right, but it's
right.
in stocks.
Yep.
That is in stocks.
Yeah.
Whether it's not safe. That can
Right.
go to zero tomorrow.
Yeah.
People don't know that.
Right.
So.
That's insane, dude.
It is, bro. It is.
It's just this world is insane, dude. That's it.
We're all insane.
We really are.
I'm really insane. I do. I think I'm crazy as fuck, but
Yeah.
I love it.
It's awesome, dude.
I do, man. So tonight on your podcast,
Yeah.
have
Phil Hall's on.
Phil Hall.
Yeah, he I think 2 fights in the UFC. Performance of the night bonuses a couple times, 50 grand right in the bank. He's fighting our very own from Northeast Philly, Kyle Dawkins.
Yes, I've seen your interviews with him.
Yeah, great person, dude. Great guy. He is a
When are they fighting?
May 8th.
Okay.
So it's gonna be a great fight. Obviously, I got to roll with my guy, Kyle. I just want to see everyone from Philly do well. You got Sean Brady, top 15 in the world right now. Chris Dawkins, top 10 heavyweight in the world, and Kyle's on his way up. So,
is Kyle gonna win?
Yes.
However, what's Hall's ranked?
They're not ranked.
They're not ranked at all.
They're not ranked top 15. That's when they put a number next to your name. So they don't have a number next to their name right now.
Okay.
They obviously have a ranking in the world. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
But they don't have a number next to their name in the UFC rankings. But a big performance by Kyle pushes him up. Same thing with Phil. But I just got to roll with my Philly guy,
All right.
Kyle Dawkins gets it done. He's a black belt BJJ, so I think he can choke him out. I think he can put him out. We'll see. So that's the beauty of the fight game.
Do you think
dude.
he's gonna win by
However he wants.
however he wants?
I think if he chooses to stand with him, I think he'll have success. Phil's very explosive, strong, and I think Kyle will submit him. To be honest, choke him out. But that's the beauty of the fight game, dude. You never fucking know.
Yeah, dude.
That's why I love
one
it.
punch.
Exactly.
Like
anything.
Jake Paul.
Yeah, fuck him. Dude. That was the biggest fucking joke. Don't get me in there. Don't get me involved in that, dude. Fuck. That's so bad, dude. And listen, boxing's a great sport, but if you allow that, that's not boxing. That was a concert last night.
Yeah.
I don't know if you tuned in. I don't know if you tuned in on that.
I didn't. I watched some of the. I watched some of the replays of it, and
there was more concerts than fights last night.
they had Snoop Dogg,
Yeah.
Pete Davidson.
Oscar De La Hoya was fucking stoned out of his mind, dude. Fucking announcing shit. He's just a joke. By the way, there might be some news breaking soon that Eddie Alvarez is boxing Oscar De La Hoya.
Really?
Yeah. So we'll see if that comes to fruition.
How did you hear about that one?
They posted it. MMAJunkie.com. They're great. They posted that. And Eddie Alvarez is like the OG of Philly fight game. You know what I mean? So
that would be exciting.
Yeah, it would be. His last fight was a little bullshit, but it is what it is. Did you hear about that? He got disqualified. Eddie was fucking this dude up. This kid, I should say.
This was just recent, right?
Recent, yeah. It was like last weekend, 2 weekends ago. And Eddie was
people like tweeted about it.
Eddie was punching him, hitting him on the ground, and
Illegal
the guy, they called it illegal, and it was just such a joke.
I see that.
It would have never happened if it was in a UFC octagon. Never.
Okay.
But then one championship also allowed Demetrius Johnson, arguably the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, was on his ass, and he got kneed right in the fucking face in that totally illegal shot. Eddie Alvarez came in the same night.
No, really?
Same night. And then, but they didn't allow Eddie Alvarez to fucking punch this dude in the face a few times. It's just, listen, the biggest problem with boxing is there's too many promotions and there's too many belts. That's why the best fighters in the world don't fight each other. UFC is the number one, quote unquote, organization. If you're a mixed martial artist, that's where you want to be. So that's why the UFC only has one belt per division.
Okay.
It's under the one promotion, obviously. And that's the biggest thing. The boxing is great, right? There's so many great fighters out there, but things like last night happen, like celebrity boxing, things like that. That's cool, but like what happened last night? People genuinely think that Jake Paul is a good fighter.
Dude, I honestly think so. If you put him up against average people, he would destroy them. But when you put him with professionals,
right,
there's a problem.
Yes.
Can they not fight? I disagree with that. They can't fight. Like him and his brother, they obviously have trained, right? Like when you watch them fight, they're not just throwing punches. You can see that they do have a technique to what they're doing.
Yes,
correct?
Absolutely.
But the promotional things are talking that they're this really good fighter. Like they're not up there.
They're not good,
but they're definitely better than your average fighter. Correct?
Yeah, right.
And then they promote it like it's some insane thing.
Yeah, well, you think about it. Jake Paul has fought a YouTuber.
That's what I mean.
Right, and then he's fought Nate Robinson, who played in the NBA. He's probably been in a fist fight or two, maybe in his life. I don't really know Nate's backstory, but obviously no boxing. And then he fought Ben Askren, who was known for wrestling and an Olympian in wrestling, and he was undefeated until he fought Jorge Masvidal in the UFC. But he was never known for striking. So, like, to promote this guy and to be, like, putting him on this pedestal.
He did it for money, dude.
Absolutely he did. He was laughing, walking in the back, you know?
Did you see the interview that he had with, I think it was with Snoop Dogg. Like, Snoop Dogg was there. And Jake Paul said, if I win, you have to donate your money to a charity of, your purse to the charity of my choice.
Yeah.
But if you win, I'll double yours. And he didn't
say.
He didn't accept it.
Exactly.
Right there tells me you don't think you're going to win.
Right.
Right?
Right.
It's like, I'm not throwing away my money.
Yeah.
So to me, it was like, so I just put money on. I bet on Jake Paul.
Yeah. So I didn't buy the pay-per-view.
No.
Obviously, I'm not doing that. I'm not wasting $50. Right? They did a stream, so I watched it on there. And I was like, dude, how the fuck people out there spent money on this?
Yeah, dude.
And it was just like people singing these obnoxious songs and like the worst fucking performances in my life. And then there was like fights on that like people didn't even deserve to like I honestly like felt terrible for these people entering the ring. I'm like, what is he doing in there?
Right.
Why is he there?
Money, dude, right?
That's all it is.
Money.
And then you have boxers. I talk about this with my boxers on the podcast where these boxers are putting in years and years of hard work and dedication to make $5,000 to show and $5,000 to win, or like even less than that. And this motherfucker, for making YouTube videos, can make $750,000.
That's the thing, dude.
I'm trying to fucking become famous.
Where'd you think this started?
Vine.
Like, I know that's where he started. Where do you think like this celebrity boxing thing kind of?
Celebrity boxing's been a thing, right? But
when was it a thing?
That wasn't like a celebrity boxing match. That was literally
a boxing match.
Professional boxing.
When did that start, though? Like, was it with the Paul brothers?
I mean, I can't think of anybody else. Jake Paul just said one day he's in a box, and that's it.
Was that after or before McGregor and Mayweather?
Mayweather? It was before.
Before that.
Or it might have been after.
That's what I was like, because I think that kind of hyped up like the anybody can just fight now.
Right. But at least that was like a guy who was known for striking.
You're 100% correct. You're 100% correct. But I just think
he was going against
opened up a world of a different world of boxing.
Right.
It was like
and you got to get fans back to boxing because more people are watching MMA than boxing now.
You think that's what it is?
Unless it's like Canelo or like Earl Spence or someone like that high caliber, that high level. People aren't tuning in for. There's an undefeated fighter from Philly right now, Beast. He was on ESPN and finally getting his recognition. Jaron Ennis. He's going to be the welterweight champ of the world. He's going to beat these guys that are at the top of the game right now. He's going to whoop their ass, but nobody knows about him. Why? He's 27-0, 26 knockouts.
Does he put himself out there like that though?
God, he tweets.
He's
not really like that in the news and shit.
That's what I mean. I feel like that is what gets publicity. Conor McGregor.
Right, exactly.
A shit talker. Ben Askren got a ton of airtime when he was in the UFC because of the... I hate Ben Askren, by the way. I always did. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't always like the... It's not like a fan-friendly style. You know what I mean?
He thinks he's funny.
Right. He does.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, he definitely does.
He's not funny to me.
Funky Ben Askren, man.
I don't think he's funny.
Some of the stuff, he's just like he has like a nerdy vibe to him. You know what I mean? You know, and like his style of funny is like
not funny,
right?
To me,
yeah. Listen, I was never a fan of his fighting style. Yeah, I was never a fan of his fighting style, but listen, man, he was undefeated for a reason. I have no idea how he remained undefeated fighting against the people he did, but somehow he made it work, dude. I don't know. Maybe you don't make it to the Olympics if you're not a fucking hell of an athlete.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't
right.
know. I didn't really even know.
But his personality,
that, dude.
Yeah.
I did not like his personality.
Mm-hmm.
It just was it's very fake to me.
Yes.
And it's not my type of funny.
Right.
I think like comedy, like a lot of different things is very selective.
Yeah.
And he tries too hard to be funny.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't even watch him and Jake Paul try to be funny with each other. Oh my
god, dude.
Like them going back and forth in some things, dude, it was like cringy on both sides.
Yep.
And I'm like, dude,
and Jake Paul's so fucking cringy.
It's very he's got CTE, correct? Or he's on the verge of it.
Well, you know what's funny? There's been plenty of videos and plenty of things out there that you cannot diagnose CTE on a person who is alive. Doctors. You can't diagnose.
CTE real?
CTE apparently is real. Did you watch that movie with Will Smith?
Yeah.
So that's how it all started. Like Junior Seau and
I actually was somebody. I won't say the name, but he was a running back on the Eagles back in the day. He passed away, and his son was one of my clients, and he got a check for that.
Yeah.
So he got the hereditary because of that lawsuit from them.
CTA?
Yeah. But
So
I don't understand CTA.
Apparently they just, you lose your mind and you just can't control your thoughts anymore because of the constant things to the brain. The blunt force to the, trauma to the brain. And apparently that caused it. But they can't medically diagnose anybody on a live person. You don't find out you have CTA until you're dead.
Why?
I don't know.
How's that like?
I have no idea, dude. And when Jake Paul came out and said that, they were like, "What do you mean you have early onset of CTE?" He's like, "You've been in 3 fights, and none of them have been difficult."
He's just dumb.
Right. I think he's just dumb as bricks. That's honestly what I think it is.
He's dumb.
But to say that out loud when there's been hundreds of doctors who said, "Oh, but you can't even diagnose somebody who's alive," to come out and say that, he's just unintelligent. He's very immature. And listen, man, he's doing his thing now, making a lot of money.
He's making money,
dude. Hopefully he's putting in the cryptocurrency. I think a lot of
people, right? Hopefully he's buying some. Hopefully he goes and puts that whole thing in Doge Coin
600
tonight,
G's,
baby.
dude. Doge
Put it all Doge. But it's a wild ride. It is, dude. I've been enjoying your shows. Sometimes I'm like, how do these get these guests? Yeah. I think it's really awesome. Mm-hmm. Keep it up, bro.
Yeah.
Seriously,
keep
putting them out. I'm gonna start putting them out more, dude. I have, like I said, dude, I have an issue with I'm too perfectionist. Like even this conversation, bro, in my mind right now, I'm like, dude, I just talk for fucking ever. And I'm like, but I got to do it.
Right.
Until I start doing it, dude, I'm not gonna get to what I want it to be.
Right. Sometimes even putting out videos that you don't 100% love. Like there's a video of me. I had my buddy Rich Flanagan on, and I was absolutely like, it was after this like a Sunday fun day, and I'm just hammered and talking. And I'm like, this is so embarrassing. I'm like, I'm putting it out anyway. I don't even care.
Yeah, you just gotta put shit out, dude.
But you just gotta put shit out, dude.
That's what I'm gonna do. Even this one, I'm gonna piece it up.
Right.
You're gonna be a couple episodes because we talked about other different things.
Yeah.
But that's what I enjoy, bro. I enjoy having conversations with people.
Yeah, dude.
I really do.
I'm always down for a collab, dude. I love it.
And I'll definitely get better at it as I go on.
Dude, we're never gonna be Joe Rogan X. You know what I mean?
I don't even want to be. I can't care less if anybody even watches it.
Right. I just like talking about it, dude.
I'm serious.
When I first saw you do one, you were just by yourself, and I was like, wow, dude, I would never be able to do that.
It's hard, dude.
I need somebody.
It's hard
because you got to think of all these fucking things
and stay on track. Right.
And with
I'd rather go off track. I'd rather go off track.
Put a microphone in front of people with two people with ADHD. You get this.
Dude, we went to I started asking about influences. We got into so many different topics, but that's where my mind fucking goes, bro. And I'd rather go off track with somebody else than to do it by myself. It looks way worse.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, exactly. Now you got two dumbest guys in the room, dude.